Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Leafs game night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. Coach's comments are brought to you by Honda. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CR-V LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. Coach Berube and what he sees in Utah.
Power play was good. They got 3. They're fast. They got a lot of skill, like I talked about. They make a lot of plays, a lot of east-west plays, and you know they get up the ice really well. You know, and their D are involved. So, you know, we've got to check well tonight. We've got to stay out of the penalty box. Our penalty kill is going to be important, but overall, we need to take time and space away from this team. You know, right out of in the offensive zone, be hard on them. You know, breaking plays up. That'll be really important tonight.
Good sign seeing Matthew Nice.
Yeah, they both skated and they're feeling good. So it's good news on that department. Yeah.
Are you expecting Austin to take part in the next practice?
I hope so. Yeah. You know, we'll just play that by ear right now. But yeah, that'd be great if he could and see where he's at.
What's the spirit of internal competition been like among some of the younger guys who are getting some chances for the playing time?
Yeah, well, I know they're up from the minors and you know they're getting an opportunity here, and I mean they're bringing good energy shift to shift, and they're playing hard, and they just got to continue to do that and keep the game simple, don't complicate it, and just do their job and what we ask them to do.
Didn't see Wall out there. I assume that he's good. He's going to start tonight.
Yeah.
Joseph? What made you want to go back to him when you've had the kind of the rotation going?
You had a really good game against Vegas, and you know, just thinking ahead here, and Stoley's played a lot. Has you know, got some time here he's you know working in practice and doing a lot of good things. So that's about it. We just talk and you know about things and just figure you know make decisions on what we think's best for the goalies and the team.
Are you mindful of Stolar's workload just historically with how much he's played in his career?
What's that?
Are you mindful of Stolar's workload just this being new for him, this much action?
Well, yeah, for sure. Like I talked earlier that both goalies are going to see more net than they have in the past. So it's important that we manage that to the best of our abilities. And like I said, Wolf's coming off a real solid game against a real good team, and we wanted to go back with him.
You mentioned the extra practice day gave you a chance to drill down on some of the offensive side. What do you want to see in tonight's game on the offensive side that will let you know that work has paid off?
I think attacking more than we are. I think like there's times that you know we tend to just control the play a little bit too much on the outside. We can attack more shots to the net, getting pucks low to high, and just on and off shooting with getting people to the net and finding numbers around there. So a little of that, and you know just some resets and things like that to the back of the net and making quick plays out of there. Just doing things a little bit quicker, you know, moving it quicker and supporting it quicker and getting more pucks to the net than we are.
Craig Berube, head coach of the Leafs, talking about Utah, among other things, getting into the injured players that are skating. So Austin Matthews and Matthew Nyes skating again, which is great news. And looking at the schedule, Florida Wednesday, Tampa next Saturday. So not like there's a work overload there, but there's gaps.
Yeah, and you mentioned it off air, the perfect time if you're going to have injuries, and there's no perfect time. It's when you do have a bit of gap, and you know guys got 3-4 days to recover. And not a bit of a inside scoop here. Matthew Nyes, he'll be back I think a little bit sooner than people may think there too. And again, it was a pretty tough hit that he got against the Vegas Golden Knights the other game. And Austin Matthews, he could play on Wednesday. That was the reports I heard today as well. So both players are a big part of this lineup, but it's an opportunity for other guys to step up. And it's funny, in years past, if there was this many players missing, we would be sitting here like, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen? Who's getting traded, or who are we trading for? We got to go and bring in 4 or 5 guys. but I think that's just the Craig Berube system where it's the sum of the parts. Yes, you obviously want Matthew Knies' tenacity, and you want Austin Matthews' goal-scoring prowess, but this is a hard-working team that sticks to the system, and when they do that, they're a tough team to beat. So it's going to be interesting to see tonight when they talked about getting more pucks at the net. I've noticed that. They go low to high, and they try to hit the F3 for the perfect shot. No, you want to go low to high, get it on net, second and third opportunity to shoot for sticks, because I'm just thinking Game 7 of the second round, what's that goal that goes in? It's that little trickler that hits a stick or hits a leg. It's not that pretty play that the Leafs tend to make more often than not.
Well, I mentioned this on Leafs Guide, the radio show on TSN 1050 last week, that when we go back to the preseason games, the B lineup, the mostly Marlies lineup, really played well for Coach Berube, and the A lineup didn't struggle, but there was a difference. They had to figure it out. So it's not a surprise to me that the call-ups are doing good.
100%. And you want to impress the new sheriff in town, right? And he controls your destiny. And remember, not a lot of guys have come up and had impact on this roster, but this is an opportunity now for guys to solidify not just the rest of the season, but their careers. If you step in and show that you can be a guy that can be called upon and reliable, that coach is going to say, hey, you know what? We want this guy in this lineup constantly. So for me, Alex Nylander, looking at a guy like Steves, but I'm going to be keying in on a player like Grebenkin, because just his energy and his vibes, but just that tenacity and urgency. And I saw a glimpse of Bertuzzi in his game where he was just every time he was out there for those 11 minutes that he played last night, he was noticeable. Big, strong, fast, and he can handle the puck. He did not have a panic in his game. So it's a great opportunity, and let's see who makes the most out of it.
True enough, and I guess also when you're going to go on a road trip, you're not going to have 30 guys in the plane, right?
Yeah, well, are we going? I want to go here in Florida. It's been a long time since I've been to the old elbow room. And
the elbow room.
Yeah, they have
still there.
Good chicken wings, right? That's it's a church, right? But that's neither here nor there. But guys, you don't know when your last game is. So there's guys playing tonight. I think are playing to, hey, you know what? I want to go on the road and show I have an opportunity to be an impact player. And that's the thing. There's opportunity here, and you can solidify, I told it, for the rest of the season, because that third line, those spots are up for the taking. And even though you might go down to the minors, if you come in and do what you need to do, they'll make room for you.
Story will always be until the end of the game, and then we'll talk about it then too. Alex and William Nylander on the same sheet of ice for the same team, likely not on the same line, but this was a thing that happened Friday afternoon where he had to be signed to an NHL contract because he was on a Marlies contract and then recalled, of course, and living with his brother William. They're going to talk here about Alex on when William found out he was a Leaf. This was a conversation that he had with the media on Saturday, but of course it was known on Friday.
I mean, he was really happy. He actually knew before I was able to call him. So, because I was going to try to tell him when he came home, but he already knew already, but he was super happy. Obviously, Dad was so happy, he got a little emotional, and it was just really awesome to see, and it was awesome yesterday.
It's a real sense of satisfaction for you. You didn't want to be handed this position. You wanted to earn it and feel you have.
Yeah, I've been playing good down there. It's been a lot of fun. We had a great team down there, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to earn that, and just really happy that this happened. And now, I got to do what I can do on the ice and try to help the team win as good as possible.
What do you remember most? It's been a while, and it wasn't very as long as you would have liked playing with him the last time, which I guess was the 2016 World Juniors.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a lot of fun, and yeah, we got 2 shifts there, and then he got the hit, so that was really unfortunate. But we got 2 preseason games there, and it was a lot of fun just playing on the same team. And now 8 years later, we got to do it again. So it's amazing. It's crazy.
Where's your confidence level at, Alex, at the National Hockey League level? You finished strong, really well last year. Mm-hmm. Went down to the A, had success. Where do you feel your game is at now?
Oh, it's good. I'm just continuing off what I did last year and building that down in the AHL, and obviously going to bring that up here. I know what I could do in the NHL level. Like you said, I had a really strong finished there in Columbus last year, and just gotta build off that, get better every day. You know, it all starts with working hard every shift, and the rest kind of comes by itself when I do that.
Is your dad still in town? Or is he,
yes, he is.
He'll be at the game tomorrow?
Yes, he will. Yeah.
To see to be in the game.
He's so pumped. So it's amazing. So happy, and just so nice.
How about everybody back home? They're in on it now too. They know that.
Yeah. All my whole family and all my friends know. So everybody's gonna be up watching the game tomorrow. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Is your dad an emotional guy, or was it surprising to you to see him get emotional, as you said?
Yeah, I mean, very few times he gets emotional. So yeah, it was a little bit. You don't really see that from him. So I mean, it was just awesome. You know, he was just really happy, and it was a special moment for me and my family.
Alex Nylander, as he spoke yesterday, sounds like his brother, doesn't he?
He does, and I saw him during the warm-up too. He still sort of does have that same swagger and that same stride too. And this is a player that, not saying he's running out of chances, but this is an opportunity for, if he makes the most of it, can solidify himself as a constant NHLer. And he did have a really solid finish to the season last year for the Columbus Blue Jackets, 11 goals in 23 games, and he comes in with a lot of pedigree, where he was the 8th overall pick in the 2016 draft, coming out of the Mississauga then Steelhead. So he is skilled, he can make plays, and he's known to be putting up some points. He scored 25 goals a couple of years ago in the minors. He had 17 for Wilkes-Barre the other year as well in 43 games. So it's going to be interesting to see, how he is utilized. But for him, I don't think he can expect to come in and get power play minutes right away. I think he's got to earn his opportunity, play a good two-way game, and make the most of those opportunities in and around the net. But that's another guy now. He stays for 5-10 games. Who knows what that means for him as the season goes along.
I think he was on, if I remember this right, the second power play unit, so we'll see. And so this goes back. I was talking to Ralphie about this earlier. Last time they had injuries like this was on the blue line 2 years ago, and they had to go deep. I mean, if you're out 4 blue liners, that's pretty significant, and they found a way through it and actually played fairly well, and they're doing it again with the forward unit. What I like about this is we don't know where the season ends or how it ends or when it ends, but if you know that you have 3 or 4 guys in that AHL roster that if there's a problem, you can call them up and they can contribute, that's a plus. Not everybody can say that. Yeah, it's a great thing to have down in the farm too. And I think that year when they were down a couple D, I was 2 calls away from being called up there too. But they do have some young guys too, and Blandisi, Abrazizi, Ryan Tedberg is a young guy too, and they have Niemela, so they have a lot of depth. They've been stockpiling some assets down there as well. But what it does now, it just sort of calms the waters, because especially in this market, like in years past, it would be, when are we trading for Connor McDavid? What's going on? We need depth. We need scoring. But again, the way that they've been playing as a system, it's just a machine that just keeps rolling. And the fact that they're building a lot of chemistry, but they're building that adversity. They're growing on that. It's great to see. Well, that's one of the other differences between this year and in the past. All those things that were squeaky in the past are quiet now, aren't they? I know. They're talking about Tavares. Maybe they split the C in half, and he maybe wears it at home versus on the road. And, we haven't been talking too much about the Marner contract or the goalie controversy. Joseph Wall's calmed those waters as well. So, great job. And I think not enough credit's given to Brad Treliving. So what he's done since he's been here, and Craig Berube just coming in and letting the work and the results do most of the talking. And so far, so good. Tonight, it's the Utah Hockey Club here at Scotiabank Arena. We'll set up the opening faceoff for you in greater detail next. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and also on the Leafs Radio Network.
The scrape of blades, the clash of sticks. Hockey's more than a game. It's unrelenting, never-give-up moments that make you feel alive. And so you commit to the weekly ups and downs, the long road to the playoffs. You wear your heart on your sleeve and your jersey with pride. And when you're there for your team, the NHL Shop is there for you. Check out the largest selection of official NHL gear at nhlshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Discover more value than ever this Black Friday at Loblaws. Until November 27th, save 50% on whole beef brisket, only $4.99 a pound. Or get boneless, skinless chicken breast for $4.99 a pound. Conditions apply. See flyer for details.
TSN and TSN Plus are your home for the National Lacrosse League.
Scores!
The action revs up on Face-Off Weekend.
Amazing goal!
November 29th to December 1st. NLL on TSN and TSN Plus.
Join Desjardins Financial Group at the original Santa Claus Parade and donate a new unwrapped toy for the CP24 Chum Christmas Wish at Queen's Park Circle or Berksea Park.
The adventure of a lifetime is just a click away. Casting is now open for the new season of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada.
Are you ready to go?
Go to ctv.ca/The Amazing Race Canada to apply.
Wednesday night, the 3-0 win here over Vegas seems like a while ago, but the residue of the win, the Minton goal, the hit on Nyes, the shutout by Waller easily recalled. The kids stepped up, and in Alex Nylander, another one is added. Will they do it again tonight? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Oh, yes, they do, and welcome to Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart with you. Joe Bone and Jimmy Rouse standing by. And we've got a couple of minutes to fill before we break for the opening face-off. And let me tell you, the projected lines for the Leafs go like this. Tavares between Marner and McMahon. Holmberg centering William Nylander and Robertson. Fraser Minton centering Alex Nylander and Nikita Grabenkin. Connor Dewar centering Lawrence and Steves on the blue line. Riley, OEL, McCabe, Tanev, Simon Benoit, and Connor Timmins. And Wall starts in goal. Stu, what do you make of all that?
Yeah, it's a very, very young bottom six. Four of their bottom six are guys called up from the AHL, Toronto Marlies this year. And again, for them, I think they just have to simplify their game. You want to manage pucks. You don't want to have too many turnovers and start on time. So looking forward to Joseph Wall playing in back-to-back games after having his 31-game save shutout versus the Vegas Golden Knights. And discipline. Discipline is key against this Utah Hockey Club team. They have some players that can put the puck in the net. Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther. And they were 3 for 6 on their power play in their 6-1 win the other night versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. So come in, manage the puck, simplify, and let the system take over the game. And you get the saves, you should get the win tonight.
Two teams in opposite directions in that the Leafs haven't played since Wednesday. And Utah was in Pittsburgh last night, win 6-1. And as they bust over to the rink today, the Santa Claus Parade got in their way and they had to walk a couple of blocks. So what does all that mean?
Well, they should have took the helicopter like you and I here today, right? But that's neither here nor there. But this is a team that could be tired. So I think that first 5-10 minutes is key. If Toronto comes out, maybe starts moving their feet a little bit, they are well rested. Maybe Utah does take a couple penalties and they get down early 1 or 2-0. So I think that key in that first 5-10 minutes is a really, really key for them to have a hot start.
So as you can tell, the Leafs have hit the ice. Utah's yet to come out. Wall leading them out. He'll get the start. And I just want to go back on something you said. Nothing beats the yes guy chopper.
Yes, guy. And the hardest part, though, is when they get the ladder. We got to climb down the ladder to the top of the building and come down the slide. But let's hope the Maple Leafs aren't on the slide today. But I'm interested to see this Utah Hockey Club. They do have some great jerseys and some young talent. It should be a great game.
The yes guy chopper. That's something to work on. Opening faceoff is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
The push for the fantasy football playoffs is on Fantasy Sports Radio.
Unbelievable!
Don't make the wrong roster move. Don't start the wrong player. Don't make the mistake that will cost you a win.
Don't get cute once you get to the fantasy playoffs. Start your best player.
Whether you're jockeying for playoff positioning or need a win to secure your spot, get expert advice on Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87, and on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders, the revenues and the big business,
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
Kevin Cheveldayoff, Winnipeg Jets. What the heck's with this Kyle Connor? I'm curious what you saw and how it's evolved.
His offensive instincts, really just taught them.
What's up, Leafs fans? How we doing this evening? It's a Sunday night edition of the Leafs hockey game against the Utah Hockey Club. Now, come on, we can't call them the Utah Hockey Club, so I think I'm going to put a poll up at some point during this live, probably in the beginning. What the heck should we call this team? And please keep it classy. We'll call them some in the chat. The Yeti, or isn't that their name they might get called? Maybe the Coyotes from Arizona, since that's what they are. We'll see. Give me some suggestions in the chat, but don't forget, hit that like button down below and share this link out so we can get more Leafs fans hanging out with us tonight in the best Toronto sports, Toronto Maple Leafs hockey community on YouTube. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in.
Morning skate.
Tampa Bay Lightning General Manager Julian Brisebois.
Can you tell us something about Nikita Kucherov, the player, the person?
He puts so much time working at his craft. He is looking to improve every little detail of his game, of his skill set. He gets rewarded by being an all-time great player, and we get rewarded by having one of the best players in the world on our team every night.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
Mike Rupp.
With the Leafs, the fact that they're trying to change some things has made me not make it so life and death every day for this team. In the past, it was like, this is who we are, and then you see the matchups and it's not working out, and you're like, why are things not changing? Well, things are changing right now, and it's going to take some time to get all the way there.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need
On the home of hockey,
NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows in your car. Available on Apple CarPlay via the iHeartRadio app. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
The Leafs and the Utah Hockey Club. I don't know if we're going to get through this entire game being able to do that correctly, but we're going to give it our very best shot. And the starting lineups are brought to you by Molson, the official beer sponsor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. It will be Joseph Wall in goal for the Maple Leafs, 4-2-0, a 2.00 goals against average, and a .922 save percentage. The goaltending, both he and Anthony Stolarz, has been outstanding. The Leafs will start Steves at center with Connor Dewar on the right wing. And I am not sure. We got Benoit along with McCabe as the defense tandem. And on the right side, it is Steven Lorenz. As the puck is dropped and it is shot into the zone,
by Connor Timmins, rather, on the right side as it's down into Utah territory. Centering pass, blocked there in the corner, comes back of the net. Steves knocking it around the boards into the near wall, and it comes out at center and gets past Benoit, but Timmins is back there to take it to safety. He'll get a return pass back of the goal. Played it along the wall for Lorenz, who rings the boards with it. Chopped at by Dewar and knocked out into the center ice area. Steve's up doing a little bit of forechecking just to allow teammates to change. And the puck is still in the Utah zone. Can we call them the Utes? Played high. It's going to go over the glass and out of play.
I don't know.
I mean, that's one of the football teams, the Utes, whatever. So it wouldn't be sort of like from my cousin Vinny. It's not Utes.
The
Utes.
Joe Pesci character.
Yes. Exactly.
But certainly, they've the people we've talked to, from Dominic Moore, Dave Griffiths, say that the ownership is absolutely fantastic, and certainly, from the players to a lot of the staff. And it's been a pretty trying few years for them.
Well, in comparison to the past, it didn't have to improve a great deal to be really spectacular.
Just to leave the lights on.
Yes. Here the hockey club getting it in front of the net, knocking it to the far side. I'm going to have a trouble.
Yeah.
They need to get something as a nickname. The rolling puck goes down in on goaltender Vejmelka, and he will cover up. And glory. Karel Vejmelka is playing on back-to-back nights. Unheard of. How could they do that to this human being?
The fourth time in his career he has played back-to-back. Now, I think with Joseph Woll playing consecutive games, obviously not back-to-back, shows what a luxury the Leafs have this year. Two guys that you can turn to without, having any concerns. And I think early on the concern was Joseph Woll was supposed to be the guy.
Schmaltz gets it into the slot area, turnover, and the Leafs carry it back into the corner. And now Pontus Holmberg starts out.
And all of a sudden he's injured, and Anthony Stolarz gets to be the number one guy and just runs with it.
And we're going to get an icing call here, and crashing into the boards there was Pontus Holmberg, and he is regaining his feet, but doing it rather slowly, and what the Leafs don't need is another injury.
And even for somebody like Pontus Holmberg, Joe, there's a group of players that this is their opportunity, right, for extra ice time, power play time. And the last thing you want to do is go through something. It looked like here he trips and then goes, whether it's his right arm or right shoulder, took the brunt of the hit into the boards.
He's going to be allowed to go to the bench and be replaced because of the shaking up and the injury.
Might have been Nick Robertson that he kind of clicked skates with.
Fraser Minton, who comes over the boards, is not allowed to take the face-off. Nylander had to under those circumstances as a shot is blocked away by Woll. Centering pass, good deflection in front of the goal, still rolling in front of the net, and taken to safety by Morgan Riley and played around on the near wing. It'll be launched out at center ice as Robertson was knocked down on the play, and Utah goes back to recover the puck in their own zone. Played around back of the net, brought out on the left wing now to get it ahead. Gunther gets it to the line, and down into the Toronto zone it'll go as the puck comes around on the near wing. Utah keeping the puck in along the boards. And it'll come back to the point with a long shot taken by Mata. That deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Trying to chip it ahead was Grabenkin, but he didn't get it out. And now Benoit has some skating room down the left wing to get it to center. And it is chipped to the line, but not in. Now along the boards, Nylander couldn't get to it. And now back come the Utah with a shot blockered away there by Woll. The bouncing puck, where's it gone? Into the corner. Everybody looking for it as it took a strange bank off one of the stanchions. Puck along the boards, and it is Alex Nylander getting it out. And now here's Lorenz driving the net, a backhand, and it is stopped by the pad of Vejmelka and held for a face-off in Utah territory.
Right, Steven Lorenz picks up the loose puck on the left wing boards and then just bulldozes his way towards the front of the net. Kirill Sergachev was able to cut him off to an extent, but Steven Lorenz still got a pretty good backhand away. Went all the way across the top of the crease, forehand to backhand.
So a face-off coming in the Utah zone to the left. Going through brother combinations. This is the fourth time in my broadcasting career as a point shot is blocked in front of the net, swept into the corner then by McMahon, that there have been brother combinations played for the Maple Leafs. Now, only once has it happened that they played together, and that was Peter Inachek joined by Miro Inachek as the puck goes off a stick and into the crowd. Miro Inachek was spirited out of the Czech Republic, which was, at the time was behind the Iron Curtain, if you will.
No.
And I'll never forget when he arrived. He had the state-issued apparel. I mean, his suit was really something to behold. And when he arrived in I think it was in Long Island, was the very first time, and of course got to know everybody and whatnot, it was quite comical. And Peter had to explain to him how everything worked and everything. And it really never turned out that Miro turned into the star that everybody thought he might be.
I played with both of them in the American League in Newmarket.
Yeah.
And actually, at that point, they both wanted to go back.
Well, you could have that effect on people, can't you? Yes. Play back to the blue line. A pass by Ekman Larsson was blocked. Grabbed off again by the Maple Leafs. Dewar trying to play it into the corner, and he has. Stevens gets it back into the slot. Here's Morgan Riley closing. Shot Vejmelka. Came out and made the save, and his helmet has come off. And play is whistled down.
Boy, Morgan Riley got all kinds of time and space.
Wait a minute. That's what he looks like. He's got his mask on. Hey, good-looking guy. Yeah, look at that. That's
Morgan Riley.
Karl Vejmelka.
He skated that in, about 25 feet from the left point and let it go from almost the hash mark. Steven Lorenz in front providing the screen.
So the two Inacheks played in the 85 to 87 seasons for the Leafs. But then Basil McRae and Chris McRae played at different times for the Leafs. Joe Sacco and David Sacco played in the 90s. Gary Yaremchuk and Ken Yaremchuk played at different times but did not play together. And so tonight, the Nylander brothers are here. Michael Nylander, their dad, is in attendance. And a special moment for the Nylander family. As a penalty is coming here as Robertson was taken down in front of the net right off the faceoff.
And it's going to be a cross-checking call as Robertson was waiting for the puck to get to him in the slot. Was knocked down from behind. Lamoureux, I believe, is the Utah defenseman that's going to go.
Utah penalty number 10. 2 minutes for cross-checking.
So the Leafs go to their first power play. It is brought to you by the good folks at Subaru. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Leafs power play. Minton out there along with Tavares and William Nylander as the Utah Hockey Club send it down into the Toronto zone. And Marner will drop it off, and Morgan Riley starts it out. Marner trailing, got it up on the wing, played back into the slot then by Tavares. It's stolen by Utah. They're going to stretch it out, and Ian Cole sends it down into the Toronto zone. Riley will start up ice again. Marner, the trailer, taking his time coming out. Now the puck is dropped to Nylander. Nylander comes through center. Crisscrosses with Marner as he hits the line. It rolls into the left wing corner. Nylander hustling in there after it as the puck goes around back of the net. Marner getting it back to the blue line. Just kept in. All right, I'm wrong.
Just got out.
Just got out. And it is a whistle here by the linesman to stop play on a faceoff coming outside Utah territory. Karl Vejmelka has a record of 2-5-0 and a 2.21 goals against average, but whilst with Arizona, he was 3-1-0 against the Leafs and a 3.00 goals against average. Leafs bring it in with a backhand by Marner to play it in behind the net. Vejmelka sends it back into the corner. It comes in front, and it is quickly sent out and down the ice by Kevin Stenlund, and the Leafs have to go back on this power play that has 50 seconds left in it, has not really been able to set up. Nylander through neutral ice, hits the blue line, played it in on the left wing boards to himself, got it around back of the net. Marner couldn't get it, and it's ripped around the boards past Tavares. Down the ice it goes, and unit number 2 is coming over the boards, and it's going to have a distinct Toronto Marlboro effect with it. Alex Nylander shooting it in. Vejmelka knocked it down back of the net, chipped it along the boards, cut off and comes back to the point. Ekman Larson to the left wing side, and a shot by Nylander is into the glove of Vejmelka and held for a face-off.
As he has for a lot of his career, Alex Nylander wearing the same number as his father, Michael wore, number 92. But no traffic in front there. Playing off the right wing. Just 15 seconds to go here in this Leaf power play that has been pretty hot still of late. In the last 8 games has not looked hot to start early here.
10 of 27 over that span of 8 games. Leafs get it down into the corner for Robertson. Coming off the half boards, retreats, still has it. Looking back across, it comes into the slot, and a shot is off a leg and went wide. As
the one that's watching the hockey game.
Against the boards, Kesselring trying to play it out. The penalty is expired. Leafs trying to chip it in front. Robertson had it. It goes wide, and it is wired off the boards and down the ice. An icing charge will come here against Utah, as it will come back into the zone to the, well, let's see where the Leafs want to have the face-off. They'll get a choice here.
We talked to some of the Utah broadcasters and management. They had to get out and walk to the rink tonight.
Imagine that.
Yeah, traffic.
Really, traffic.
They were saying something about the Santa Claus parade. And I said, no, we have a Santa Claus parade every day.
Or we have a Swift parade. So you could have walked swiftly if you'd like.
We don't call it rush hour anymore. We just call it
normal
Sunday traffic.
Left wing side for Pontus Holmberg. Got it into the corner. Tried to play it around back of the net. Being marked there rather diligently by Kesselring. And the puck goes free to the left wing side. And Keller trying to work out now. Drops it back for Olli Mata. And he'll get it ahead. And Keller starting out of his own zone. Clayton Keller across the line with a long shot taken and into the chest of Wall. Smothered for a face-off. Draw coming in Toronto territory when we return. No score. We're just nicely underway. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To win your fantasy football league, you need to be one step ahead of the competition. And at SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, we're giving you the edge you need to take home the trophy.
There are no tight ends that you can count on. We will tell you who to start.
Our experts are doling out start-sit advice, waiver pickups, and so much more to help you win a championship.
Just because you're allowed to make a waiver move doesn't mean you have to make a waiver move.
Listen right now on Channel 87 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders. The revenues and the big business.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's watching the hockey game with us here on TSI, listening to the best call in the business, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. Please take a second to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game this season. I created this cool little 100K emoji for promotional purposes because we are just flying right now, bringing in new insiders. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider and hanging out with us. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's get the win against the Utah Hockey Club. See you back in there.
Us on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Just talking off air, it's like the league has expunged Arizona Coyotes.
Yep.
Even the records and everything, they're starting afresh like this was an expansion team of some sort, right?
Instead of a relocation, yeah.
And yet we've seen relocations from Quebec City to...
Well, even Winnipeg to Arizona.
Yes,
They talked about the same records. Yeah. Now, there is, some agreement where if Arizona can ever get a rink built, they can get a franchise back or apply to, but that is going to be an expansion team.
Yes. Played off the boards along the wall, kicked out at center ice by Bobby McMahon, and then quickly bounced back in and gloved by Wall, and shows you that he might be the shortstop on the slow pitch team there. He made a pretty good play on a bouncing ball.
Well, at halfway there, you're thinking, is this going on a highlight reel somewhere?
Yes. Seen this before.
Of course, Vesatovskala might be the one.
Yes, the most famous.
What people forget in that game.
He was the first star.
The Leafs won 2-1.
He was the game's first star.
Yeah.
I know. But he gets to see himself on TV a lot. All it takes is someone else to make an unfortunate bounce like that, and guess what? Here he is again. Here's Utah with a shot that deflected just wide of the far post. And now the puck in the Toronto zone. Battling against the boards. Tavares got it ahead. Marner makes a nice move, and then an alley-oop through center, looking to spring McMahon, and he didn't see where the puck was. Utah back in their own zone. Played out at center by Ole Mata, and down into the Leaf end, and down back of the net is going to be an icing call here against Utah. Just other brothers who have played for the Maple Leafs. Harvey Busher Jackson and Art Jackson. Nick Metz and Don Metz played together. Barry Cullen and Brian Cullen in the 50s, along with the Inicek brothers. So there have been 4 brother combinations that have actually played in the same game with each other. Puck back of the goal, brought on now by Lorentz, trying to get it around back of the net. It's stolen back, and Sergachev will try to get it out, but it's knocked down and bounces to center ice. Mata sending it down into the Toronto zone. Leafs have to go back for it. And back of the net, Connor Timmins applying the brakes and then trying to elude the forecheck. Gets it up for Connor Dewar. Dewar will send it down into the left wing corner and goes roaring in there after it. Trying to get a hit in there along the boards was Alex Steeves. Steeves against the boards, can't come up with it. Punched around back of the net for Michael Kesselring. Kesselring taken to the boards as the puck comes to center ice. Steven Lorentz leads the Leafs in hits as it's in across the line. A shot off the crossbar. Goes up into the mesh as Pontus Holmberg kind of surprised Velmelka by letting that shot go, and it may have gone off the stick of the Utah player, but it caromed off that crossbar up into the
Kolichanik was the defenseman backing up. I've been practicing that.
You were the first one to get it out.
I was practicing it. Kolichanik.
Yeah. Pass in front of the net. Kolichanik couldn't get it, even if he's not on the ice. Back along the board. We're just practicing. Here's Nylander trying to get it in front of the net. Well, he does. The rolling puck. And unable to tap it home there was Pontus Holmberg. Cleared to center ice and back down in over the line. Dropped into the left wing corner now for Carsoni. Gets around back of the net. And the Leafs are going to bank it off the boards, and William Nylander trying to find some open ice, drops it back to his defenseman. No score here in the period. Willie Nylander dropping it back, heading to the bench. I wonder if your brother's coming over, do you give him a little tap? Because Alex is on the ice now, and it's offside, says the linesman. So it'll be brought back. John McIsaac and Trevor Hansen are the referees. Matt McPherson and C.J. Murray are the linesmen. And isn't it interesting? After that episode the other night, the league went out of its way to give us a full description and accounting of why the hit on Nyes was legal and the one by Reeves was not.
I mean, I understand the differences, but essentially what it was, to me, what I got out of it, Matthew Nyes' head didn't snap back.
Yes. Now into the corner. Here's Alex Nylander coming in with a shot. And a good blocking arm save made there by Velmelka. Puck comes around to the near side. Another good hit in there made by the Maple Leafs. Grabenkin played in on a delayed offside. The Leafs are going to go to the bench, and Alex Nylander's had a couple of good shots at the net. Utah breakout at center. Schmaltz gets in across the line, got it into the slot, and the shot was blocked by Tavares. Rebound pushed ahead by Chris Tanev. Now he'll get it to center. Marner unable to come up with it. Played back in on the right wing for Clayton Keller. Keller gets it down into the corner out of the reach of Nick Schmaltz. And the Leafs have it in their skates but don't realize it as Tavares was spun around and had it right in his skates. Now he gets it ahead, and a blind pass gets out on the left wing right onto the stick of Bobby McMahon. Sharp angle shot off the mask again. I think McMahon hit him the first time on the mask, and it knocked it right off his noggin. Back come Utah to center. A little flip in there on the left wing. Comes around back of the net to the near corner. Lamoureux trying to keep it in. Got it down into the corner for Nick Schmaltz. Schmaltz leaves it there for Keller. Peyton Kletter getting it back to the point. A drive into the glove of Joseph Woll with 9:04 to play in period number 1. The Leafs nothing, and the Utah
fellas,
nothing. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson.
Hey, Leafs fans. I just wanted to say thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight on a Sunday night. No Saturday night, no hockey night in Canada. What is going on? But it's all right. We're back. It's Sunday night. Let's go, Leafs. Let's get the W. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and becoming part of the best community on YouTube. SickKids Hospital Create 100K. We did big things in that campaign, and we're doing it again real shortly in the winter. Again for the Versus campaign, and then later next spring for Create 100K again. Just wanted to say thank you. You guys rock. SickKids rocks. Appreciate all the support and the difference that we've made in our community. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Go Insiders, go. We'll see you in the chat.
No idea what that is. The new Festive Faves meal. A merry $8.99. Only at Subway. At participating Canadian restaurants. Extras additional. Terms and conditions apply.
By the fireplace.
One of our favorites in the building tonight. Corey Cross, the defenseman, handing out a jersey to one of our armed forces personnel who's being feted out here today. Always a great guy to have conversation with, and I still remember maybe the biggest goal he ever scored.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it was game 3 against Ottawa. The Leafs have gone into Ottawa, won the first 2 games. I remember game 3, I think what year it was, 2001, 2002. Leafs were up again. Curtis Joseph didn't give up a goal until late in the third period. Ottawa scored twice.
The shot here is swallowed up by Woll right off the face-off.
And that set up overtime and set up Corey Cross taking a drop pass and walking in from the high slot and beating Patrick Lalanne. Leafs would go on to sweep that series.
Corey wasn't known for the velocity of his efforts from the blue line. That was more of a seeing eye one, wasn't it?
Ripped it pretty good. I mean, it was a clean shot.
But one of our favorites. Good
and he's supposed to come up and see us.
Oh,
but
good. All right.
He's been busy, apparently.
Well, played in by Robertson into the zone. Centering pass by Willie Nylander went astray. And Utah now turns and brings it out at center ice. They'll get to center and a pass in on the right wing for Sergachev. Played down into the corner and around back of the net by McBain. And upended there and knocked down was Ekman Larson. And another penalty is coming here to Utah.
And there's a Dylan Gunther going to go. And little irony here is Dylan Gunther, a first-round pick to Arizona. But the pick was acquired from the Vancouver Canucks, along with Antoine Roussel, Jay Beagle, and Louis Eriksson, for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who went from Arizona to Vancouver. So, a little funny that there's an altercation, and Gunther's going to the box. Leafs second power play tonight.
So the power play brought to you by our Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drives. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Gunther in the box. Leafs' first power play was really non-effective. Puck is into the corner. Going to be grabbed here and cleared high and out and down the ice by Utah. Utah's specialty teams penalty killing, the 23rd, giving up 18 goals in 76 times short now. Left wing side for Tavares. Into the corner, and it's going to be banked back to Morgan Rielly and fed over on the right wing side for Nylander. Back to Rielly. Marner is centering pass in front, and Tavares' wrist shot went over top of the goal. Good setup, good opportunity. Tavares keeping the puck in. Down into the corner is Nylander in front for Tavares. A pass there by Marner, looking on the far side for Fraser Minton, and he didn't have a better opportunity as a shot taken at the other end on a short-handed rush is easily handled by Wall, but Fraser Minton, I think, was more shocked than anything that it got over there.
And it got right into his skates as well.
He, of course, scored his first NHL goal the other night.
And the thing is, when you're on the ice with Mitch Marner, don't think he doesn't see you.
Yes.
Don't think it's, boy, there's no way the puck's coming to me because there's 15 guys between me and him. And the next thing you know, Marner pulls up and slides it through the traffic.
Utah playing it in behind the Toronto goal off a face-off win. And now Ekman-Larsson will dish it off on the right wing side. Drop pass now for Nylander. In across the line, and the two Nylander boys are on the ice for the first time in the National Hockey League. Played along the boards, it'll come back to the point. Ekman-Larsson closing, doesn't shoot it. Dishes off to Willie on the far side. You think he might be looking for his brother. Here's Nylander getting it back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson to Willie again, works to the right wing side. Into the corner, stops it up, and tried to play it back. And it got past Ekman-Larsson and comes to center ice. Unit stays on the ice. Ekman-Larsson hits the line and gets in over the line. Gets to the puck that he played to himself and then punched it around back of the net. No one there. Utah with an easy clear, and down the ice it goes.
Well, it might have even been worse than the first power play.
Leafs with a bank pass to the line. Gobbled up again. Shot down the ice by Utah.
I mean, we're just talking no offensive zone puck possession.
Zero. Yep. Up on the left wing, Steves gets down into the corner, trying to punch it around back of the net. Utah play it off the boards and a foot race for it now. Michelli trying to get to it. A good bit of work done there by Jake McCabe. Runs into a bit of a traffic jam now. Flips the puck to the line, but it won't clear. Long shot into the glove of Walls. Swallowed up. 6:06 to play here in the first period. And scoreless is the game. 8-7, Utah, an advantage in shots on goal.
Now going back to the video that the league posted showing the difference between the hits. So this was basically a Trouba hit that was allowed, right?
Yep.
And saying that the head and body went in the same direction, not like the Reeves hit on Nurse and some of the other hits where you see the head snap, the head shot. What I didn't agree with it was talking about he didn't leave his feet significantly.
Oh, significantly.
And I thought, you know what? If somebody leaves their feet, it's going to be a high hit.
It has to be, unless you're playing with somebody who's 4 feet 6 inches tall.
I remember Patrick Coletta used to drive me crazy. That was everything he did, was leave his feet to drill guys in the boards. Anyway, good for the league for doing it, but doesn't mean that you agree 100%.
No. And then, of course, then you get the aspect, you know what? It would be different if the color of the jerseys was different. And for the love of us, the number of suspensions that this franchise has had compared to others,
Especially goons like Morgan Riley, Austin Matthews, Jason Spezza.
Well, and then, of course, somebody publishes the photo of George Peros being knocked out by Colton Orr.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think that
I don't either, but it still gets published, right?
Yeah.
Long shooting is handled by Vejmelka, and he's going to cover up on it and stop play. 5:09 to play first period. There's no score. And you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Europe's top soccer clubs are battling it out in the UEFA Champions League, and you can hear all the top matches on Sirius XM FC.
Oh, Mo Salah! Simply sensational!
Two of the world's best meet in a rematch of the 2022 final as Liverpool take on Real Madrid.
And Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
It's the Reds versus Los Blancos, live from Anfield. Coverage begins Wednesday at 3 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 150.
Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, guys and gals. We really appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I want to see city and province and lots of Canadian flags here. These Leafs games, it's so fun seeing the spread of people hanging out with us here on TSI from right downtown Toronto all the way out through the rest of this planet. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go back to the hockey and come on, let's beat Utah. Go Leafs, go!
Radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on Sirius XM FC channel 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
The break in the schedule for the Maple Leafs allowed them to do something that is very near and dear to my heart. A whole team went up to the hospital for SickKids the other day and went around taking photos, talking to the kids and parents, and signing autographs and everything else. And I have told every player that I have ever had the opportunity to thank on behalf that it means so much more to the parents than it does the kids. So many of those little tykes that are in there have no idea who Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner or Morgan Riley is. But you know every one of those parents do and appreciate their arrival there. And it means more to the parents because they need the shot in the arm as much as anybody in trying to get their kids out of that hospital, which is such a wonderful facility as a shot hits the side of the goal here in the Leaf zone.
And you know, as the kids get older, they'll know.
Oh, yeah. And they'll have a great keepsake and a photograph. Absolutely. Kept in, and a long shot goes wide of the Leaf goal, near side for Willie Nylander. Trying to backhand it out, but it was blocked there by Cooley. He works in with a backhand, and it's up high enough that it is into the catching equipment of Wall. And Wall apologizes to Kevin Stenlund for giving him a pretty good slash with the stick across the ankle.
Tell you though, this game has a feel that that's the kind of ugly goal that's going to be a difference maker, right? I mean, we have not seen crisp puck movement. We haven't seen a lot of speed, chances off the rush. I mean, this feels like a Sunday night game, doesn't it?
Yep. Face off to the left in the Toronto zone. Dewar scrums to draw. The puck into the corner, and Timmins takes his man in against the boards. Dewar does likewise. Got it up on the wing, and Steeves is able to muscle it out into the center ice area. Puck is shot back down, and now the Leafs have to tag up. Utah back in their own zone organizing with 4:11 to go in a scoreless first period. Kolochonic got it up on the wing. How'd I do? Played in along the boards and down into Utah territory. Around the boards to the near side for Cooley. Cooley gets it up on the right wing side, and the Leafs are going to have it pushed down into their zone and out of the net wall to play it back behind the net. Benoit got knocked down as the puck comes on the near boards. Benoit has it go off his skates. A shot went well wide of the leaf goal, and it is cleared then by McKay, but not out. But now an errant pass by Utah as them going back into their own zone to reorganize. Out chipped in on the right wing, and into the zone it comes. Trying to make a move there is Krause. Got it to the left wing side, but it's going to skip up and go into the Leaf bench and go out of play, and a face-off is going to come as a result in the Toronto zone, apparently. 3:23 to go in the period.
Leafs don't play again until Wednesday, and you know, as much as you want to try to predict who might be back in the lineup, who's eligible to come off of IR, you're almost at this point saying just don't lose anybody else.
No, exactly. Well, Austin Matthews skated for the first time in a while, so there's some optimism that the game down in Florida will be his first back into the lineup, and that would be a welcome sight. Utah keeping the puck in. Lamoureux along the boards. A weak shot goes wide of the net, curling out of the corner with it. Carsoni trying to get it back to the blue line. Now Michelli has it D to the far side, and a pass goes into the near corner. Leafs onto it there quickly. Chipped back by Pontus Holmberg, and Tanev is going to get it airmailed high to center ice. Utah having to organize to get players on side, sends it in. Tanev will send it around the boards to the far side for Bobby McMahon. His little tip pass didn't get out. Leafs are able to knock it away and now knock the stick out of Nick Bjugstad's hands. And interference penalty is coming here to Toronto, which would make sense since Utah had the first two penalties called against them.
Toronto 22's on line for interference.
It's awful when things are so obvious.
No. Actually, they're calling it interference.
I guess.
But yeah, it was their turn. So that's always the downside of getting the first two power plays of the night.
Penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Face off in the Leaf zone, scrummed, but controlled by Utah on the power play. They are 10 of 59, 16.9%. Near side for Keller. Down into the corner. Keller gets it back in the circle. Lost it, but the Leafs are unable to clear. Keller with it again on the near half boards. Goes across on the far side. Closing with a shot. Good blocking arm save made by Wall. Back to the point maintained by Utah. Now Keller on the near side. Getting it back to the point. Sergachev to the left wing side. They score! One-timer on the far side. Gunther let it go, but was Cooley in front of the net. And it looks like Cooley's going to go to the bench first, so that's usually the telltale sale that you got a stick on it right at the side of the goal.
But it was a great play by Gunther. I don't think he's shooting to score. I think he's trying to one-time it towards Cooley, who's off the back post. And the Leafs, who were horrible in their two power play opportunities, are down 1-0 because of a power play goal to the Utah Hockey Club. By the way, the 6 goals they had last night against the Montreal Canadiens, second time they hit the 6-goal mark this season. The other was a win at Madison Square Garden, a 6-5 win over the Rangers early in the year.
4th goal of the season for Cooley. First on the power play. Loose puck in front of the Utah goal goes into the near corner, and it is launched high to center ice off the glove of Benoit. And they're probably going to call this a glove pass, are they? The faceoff will be outside the Toronto blue line.
Well, it's probably good for the Leafs that Utah is not taking the history of the Arizona Coyotes with them, because from a Leafs standpoint, they have had their struggles against Arizona over the last few years, regardless of where either team was in the standings.
Pass ahead for Tavares. He just gets rid of it into the neutral zone. Nylander racing after it. Almost got the turnover, but it's pushed back into the Toronto zone, and it'll force Timmins to go back behind his goal. Knocked off his stick, trying to one-hand it up the wall. Got it to the line and out. Now here's The Leafs trying to push it ahead, but Grebenkin couldn't get it along, and now we get a whistle for a glove pass with 1:19 to go in the period, and a face-off coming back in the neutral zone.
And this has been a sleepy game so far from a Leafs standpoint. 13-8, the shots for Utah. And right now, if you're trying to make a big deal of Milka playing back-to-back nights, a fairly easy night in Montreal last night, and probably could have sat in a lawn chair for most of this period.
Tavares gets it down into the offensive zone. Puck along the boards. Riley pinches, but it's going to be pushed out at center, and that will force Ekman Larsson back into his own territory to try to keep it away from Barrett Hayton. Hayton got it back along the boards with less than a minute to go in the period, and now McMahon gets a lead pass and carries down into the offensive zone for Toronto. Centering feed, no one home. And it's grabbed by Nick Schmaltz and will be played to center ice. Hayton trying to get it in, turnover, Leafs back in over the line. Lorenz centers in front of the goal. Oh, and a big stick save made there by Kesselring.
Well, that was Pontus Holmberg that was in prime shooting position, but as he went to deliver to the net, you're right, stick comes out and knocks it away.
Holmberg in now, working in with a sharp angle shot that hits the side of the goal. Flipped along the boards, but not out. 19 seconds left, and a shot wired by McCabe goes high into the far corner. Played back around the boards now by Utah. They'll try to move it up the boards, but it's stolen by Toronto. Stolen again, and a wrist shot taken there by Pontus Holmberg went wide. 4 seconds left in the period. The puck back in the Toronto zone. Time will run out. Just the one goal. Cooley from Gunther and Sergachev. And it is 1-0 Utah on the power play after a period.
Low energy game, low energy start for the Leafs. Hopefully that gets rectified with a couple of big shifts to start the second.
It is the end of the first period. And Jim Taddy, along with Anthony Stewart, will be along with our first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This week, Howard Stern welcomed for the very first time, Cher.
So I Got You Babe comes out, and now all of a sudden you're famous. It's on the radio.
We knocked the Beatles off the charts.
Over an hour of captivating conversation.
I've liked some of my songs, but most of them have been ones that weren't hits.
I mean, who sells 140 million albums?
I don't know.
No one.
Listen or watch the full interview with Cher, now on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
Wait, what a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders, the revenues and the big business,
and the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
Kevin Cheveldayoff, Winnipeg Jets. What the heck's with this Kyle Connor? I'm curious what you saw and how it's evolved.
His offensive instinct, really just top end. It's just been one of those guys that, play me with this guy, okay. Play me with that guy, okay. In these last couple of years, he's learned to have the layer of the defensive structure as well. That's just made him a much more complete player.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Under review.
And nobody in Winnipeg wants to say it, but I'll say it. Connor Hellebuyck did not play the level he's capable of in the playoffs. That's a big part of the equation. Connor can play better. He's one of the best goalies in the league. The Jets have been told by everybody, but me, I want that noted, I got this one right, that everyone said they're going to take a step back.
Under review with Mick Kern.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Tampa Bay Lightning General Manager Julian Brisebois.
Can you tell us something about Nikita Kucherov, the player, the person?
He puts so much time working at his craft. He is looking to improve every little detail of his game, of his skill set. He gets rewarded by being an all-time great player, and we get rewarded by having one of the best players in the world on our team every night.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
Mike Rupp.
With the Leafs, the fact that they're trying to change some things has made me not make it so life and death every day for this team. In the past, it was like, this is who we are, and then you see the matchups and it's not working out, and you're like, why are things not changing? Well, things are changing right now, and it's going to take some time to get all the way there.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need
On the home of hockey,
NHL Network Radio.
SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
And trailing the Utah Hockey Club 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. TSN After 20 is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. 1-0 power play goal. Leaves you kind of empty, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was looking for some adjectives, and the one that I had that best described, that was a nothing burger, right? But
in the drive-through at that.
Yeah, again, it's just tough. I guess it's Sunday evening, right? You know, they're usually used to the Saturday night lights with, you know, the fans. The fans don't seem to they haven't seemed to be into this game either. But that's up to the players now. There's players now that are playing for jobs, playing for bigger roles and opportunities. They need to find a way to get involved. So for me, I wanted to see in that first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we knew they're probably going to catch Utah sleeping as they're coming off the back-to-back. A little bit more energy, a little bit more physicality. I saw Grabenkin had 3 hits, but he wasn't as noticeable as he was the first couple shifts he did in his first National Hockey League game. So for me, yes, you know, you want to see the big stars step up and the power play maybe get one there to go up 1-0. But again, it just seems like it's a sleepy first period. We'll have to see how they respond in the second.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, there were sort of one-off opportunities and some line shuffling. At one point, Alex and William Nylander were on the same line.
Yeah, and, you know, Alex was actually pretty noticeable. He did have 2 shots. He had a little bit of a dangle there and almost scored there. I believe it was on the second unit of the power play. And, you know, he's trying to carve out his role within the team too. But, you know, as much as you want these stars to step up and take over a game like this is now for the players that get you through. And so I'm expecting a little bit more from the Robertsons and the Steves and, you know, the Holmbergs, guys like that. So we'll see how they respond. But if I'm Craig Berube saying, guys, we need to manufacture this energy. We need to find a way to create it. We can't just wait for the power plays hoping that we're going to get 5 or 6 and try to score and get back into the game via that way.
On the event summary, Holmberg was the busiest Leaf with 1 shot that got through and another 4 that didn't. So, I mean, he's involved, and he is the second-line center. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, he was pretty noticeable. He did hit the crossbar on one of the entries there that almost caught Vermelka sleeping a little bit there, too. So he had a pretty decent period. We saw Lorentz there with that great speed. He almost put one home. Nylander as well. Riley came down the pipe on the power play, too. So they're getting their opportunities. But as you mentioned, Taddy, a lot of one-and-done plays. Yeah. Again, I want to see a little bit more sustained pressure, a little bit more psych, a little bit more ground and pound, because those are the types of games that Utah sort of struggles with. And they're a big, big team. I think their average size for their defensemen right now are probably 6'3". They have some big guys. It's not going to be an easy game, and Craig Berube described it. They need to simplify, get more pucks to the net, and a little bit more volume around the crease.
The interesting thing is sometimes you'll be down on a team that's coming in because you haven't seen them that much. But the bottom line is it's the NHL, and if you give somebody some room, they're going to score on you.
They will. And, you know, you saw it was Gunther there that it looked like he did a little bit of slap pass. I thought Cooley may have got a stick on it too, but they have some talented players in Cooley and Keller and Gunther, guys that can make plays. McBain's a big body that can skate. So it's not necessarily about the game plan that the other team has. It's about what you bring to the table. So for the Maple Leafs, The one positive, it seems like this game is for the taking. It's a bit of a tug of war, and everyone's bringing their B game. I want to see them raise that level and try to get to an A game. And if they do that, especially in the second, I could see them scoring, 2-3 goals.
Yeah, and you'd like to get a goal, at least one, on the 2 power play opportunities they had, but they didn't. But I think that the bottom line is the 5-on-5 play. They got to crank that.
They do. And, I think it starts with advancing the pucks. There's a couple turnovers in the neutral zone. I saw the D trying to stretch the zone out a little bit more. I think you just got to take it one zone at a time, get it up across the blue line, across the red line, but get some sustained pressure. Try to get some cycles. Try to get the glass rattling a little bit. Simplify that game. We talked about east-west versus north-south. I think they got to get back to the ladder for the final 40 minutes here.
So what are you looking for when the second period starts? Just a little more taking the man and being involved physically?
Yeah, and, I forgot to mention, Wall played really good. He wasn't called upon that much. They did have 12 shots, but he was solid. Didn't seem like he had any wrinkles in his game, but I just want a little bit more energy, and it's tough. It's tough. I played in the Southeast Division where there was a lot of nothing burger games, but you have to find a way to get involved, and too many zeros across the boards for my liking, but there's still 40 minutes to play.
King of the nothing burger.
That's trademarked. That's trademarked.
Okay.
I need to eat a couple of those. Oh, man, I'm hungry.
No calories in a nothing burger. You'll be here all night.
Oh, man.
Who did you notice? I mean, you mentioned a couple of names there, but who was the best Leaf in that period, do you think? Was it Wall?
I think it was Wall. And, they had a couple chances early, and, I think it's going back to the St. Louis game where those shots went in, those long shots, or maybe a tip. But he just seems solid. He's square to the puck. There's no panic in his game. He's just getting in the way of the puck. So I think it was him. He had a pretty decent period. I noticed Tanev wasn't bad as well, too. Lorentz had some speed. But, again, I think collectively as lines, we need to see a little bit more consistency as lines, not just one or two guys, having some spurts of energy. They need consistency as a group.
So you try and put this in regular terms. All of us get up, and sometimes we don't have the best start to a day. But somehow you find your way through it. So what's the hockey version of that? What's the NHL version of, okay, that was an okay first period, but we need more? How do you find that? How do you find the gear shift for that?
Well, what is the hockey version of the triple espresso that I need to get past my 3 o'clock start to the day? I think you just have to hit a reset. You take the positives. Hey, yes, we are down 1-0. It could have been worse. We didn't play our best period. We're only down 1. There's still another 40 minutes. And Utah has some holes in their game. So it's not like they're dominating like Ottawa the other night or the Columbus Blue Jackets. They seem like they are a little bit stagnant as well. I come in with that mentality, shift by shift, but let's have a good first half of that second period and see where we stand.
And when you have all these new players in the lineup and then it doesn't work and the coach starts messing around with the lines because he has to, how does that affect a player?
I think it doesn't matter, especially with a lot of young guys. You may play 10 minutes, you may play 15. You have to make the most of every shift. And I think him shuffling is showing some of the younger guys like, hey, don't take anything for granted here. You have to come out and bring energy, bring something, especially when the top dogs aren't bringing it, because he's going to be evaluating. He's evaluating you whether you're here for the rest of the season, whether you're going down, and if you're coming back up, you have to do something. So if I'm now being shuffled, if I'm starting on the third and then I'm down on the fourth or maybe up in the second, I'm like, okay, he's trying something here. Let me make the most of my next shift.
Absolutely. Oh, you have to have your eyes open and your feet on the ground. Yes. Now, 1-0 for Utah over the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
I'm outside a Bell store. People are raving about the Bell Black Friday event. Excuse me, ma'am.
Hi.
Sounds like you got a great deal.
Sure did.
Amazing. How do you feel now?
I'm high-fiving everyone.
All right then, up top.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. High fives for everyone.
It's the Bell Black Friday event. Time to get on Canada's fastest and most reliable 5G network and get over $850 off amazing phones. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca/Black Friday for details. Bell. Black Friday just got better.
Enter the amazing universe of 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil. An acrobatic retelling of a classic tale. A forever-lasting experience for your kids and the kid in you. 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil in Toronto. Playing at Meridian Hall, December 12th through January 3rd. Tickets on sale now at CirqueDuSoleil.com.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Sam had aspirations of opening a clothing boutique. She called Alpine Credits and was sent a speedy superhero to help with a business loan. Super speed doesn't translate to radio, but when our hero runs, she sounds like this. If you ran at the speed of light, you'd sound funny too. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Come and get some! TSN is the home of AEW, delivering dynamite every Wednesday. And with TSN Plus, you can get even more action with Rampage on Fridays and Collision on Saturdays. AEW lives on TSN and TSN Plus.
We have a plan that's connecting Ontario. We're leading the largest transit expansion in North America. New projects like the Ontario Line Subway and Hazel McCallion Light Rail will relieve overcrowding, with the Scarborough and Yonge North subways connecting more communities, and expanding GO Transit with more trips, faster train service, and two-way all-day service. All so you can get around faster, safer, easier.
What's up, Insiders? How we doing? Tonight, 1-0. The Buds are down to the Yeti, I think is what we're going with. At least according to the poll, it's the Yeti at 50%, Coyotes at 15%, Bettman Inc. at 17%, and Mountaineers at 18%. So we'll end that vote now, and it's clearly the Yeti. How's everybody doing tonight? Alexander Skal, Brad Smith, Richard Fewer, David Kyle, Todd Swenson, Larry Miz, Rod Bottomley, Howler the Coyote. How you doing? Howler, it's been a while. Lisa, Stefan, Canadian Girl, Joffrey, what's up? Richard Fewer, Brandy Gale. Great to see everybody. All right. We're going to take it back to the intermission. I just got home, so gotta cheers to everybody. Just popped this one. Lots of fuzz there at the top. We got to get rid of this. And, of course, they just went to another commercial break. So that was the little quick 2-second, hey, how's it going? And then commercial. But Larry Miz says the Utah Moose. Mario. Cheers, Mario. Utah Snow. I like that one. I'm okay with that one. Dan Gracer says Utah Moose Knuckles. God. Come on. Oh, Bert. Where's Bert? Bert, are you in the chat, Bert? Down in Georgia. Talking about a moose knuckle. Jesus. All right. Mark Duffney in the house as well. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Get that wave going, Mark Duffney. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mark Kelly, as well. Man, the country knucka in the house. Hope I said that correctly and don't get in trouble with YouTube if I said something funny. There you go. Rodolfo in the house as well from Chile. Great to see you, Rodolfo. Cheers. All right, guys, make sure you share this link out. Smash that like button. We're at 323 likes at the end of the first period. Hit that like button and share this out. Let's get more hockey fans here in the chat. We already have 1,167 right now while the ad bot is running overtime from Google. If you happen to see an ad and it piques your interest, please click it. That does help support our amazing community as well as our donation to SickKids, which is really the reason why I do what I do here. And we're already starting to put things together for next playoff run. We're doing it again. 100% of channel revenue during the Toronto Maple Leafs games will be donated to SickKids Hospital after the playoff run. Every single game of the Leafs. That's how we do here. Mackenzie, Dan Tran, love it in the chat. Good to see you. There's Pike. What's up, Pike? Good to see you, man. All right. Let's get back to the hockey. Thank you for sharing this link out. Thank you for hitting that like button. All the new people in the chat tonight, hitting that subscribe button and turning on that bell. Thanks for becoming insiders. Go Leafs, go. Big second period. Time to beat the hockey club. Come on.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream us on iHeartRadio, the TSN app, or on Apple CarPlay. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
Leafs trail 1-0 to the Utah Hockey Club after 20 minutes of play. And we were expounding on the friendship of Corey Cross when he was handing out the jersey to the member of the armed forces. And he dropped up to say hello during the intermission and reminisced a little bit. Boy, what a terrific young man, eh?
Yeah.
He was
like we said, Cross, and we did it again. We talked about that goal.
Yep.
And he had a great story. He said during COVID, one of the stations, sports stations, was replaying old games, and he said he said that game was on, Game 3 against Ottawa, and he forced his son to watch it.
Not once.
Yes.
He has PVR'd it, and it's there for anyone who wants to watch it.
Fine, I'll fast forward to the end, but you got to stay.
Yeah, that's right. You got to stay. Face Off brought to you by Alpine Credits. Do you own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved. Alpine Credits as the puck is dropped and it's shot into the Utah zone. 1-0, and the Leafs need to get some energy going here. Stick is launched into the corner. Grabbed back now by Bukestad. They battle for it along the boards, and it comes out and to the line. Just kept in again by Toronto. Pushed into the far corner. Steves in with a good hit to knock his man down. And then a thundering hit there as the puck comes out into the center ice area. Dewar will regroup the puck for Connor Timmins, who gets it ahead on the wing, but unable to get it into the zone was Steven Lorentz. Lorentz playing center here with Steves as they change it up, and the Leafs have the puck in the center ice area, and Marner trying to chip it in over the line, got it into the corner. Bobby McMahon coming out and then tried to make a little move, and it rolled off his stick, and he never did get the chance, although it was going to be a real sharp angle one. Utah in on the left wing. Schmaltz carries down into the corner. Backhanded by the Leafs to the line. Nicely played by McMahon to get it ahead to Marner. Marner will gain the zone and left wing side back in for Tavares. Tavares had his man in front, gets it back to Marner, who gets it back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson holds into the slot area for Marner. Marner turns on a dime and a backhand in front of the net, and trying to chip it in there was McMahon, and it is launched high to center ice, but the Wizard was back there with his wand, wasn't he? Here's Schmaltz in with a long shot that goes off the blocker of Wall and wide of the net. Leafs against the boards. McMahon can't get it out. Puck fed ahead, and Nylander was in behind the defense, but the pass for him, boy, that was just great anticipation. Now here, back comes Utah with a centering pass. Oh, and it deflected over top of the Leaf goal. And now they've played it all the way back into their own end. Second period brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra, Export, or XL, there's Molson with your name on it. Leafs get a turnover, and Nylander works in with a backhand try. That went off the blocker of Velnelka and now played to center ice. Cooley turning. Got it up on the left wing. Kolichanik tried to get it into the zone, onto the left wing side. Gunther gets it deep into the Toronto end. Kicked up on the wing, but not out, and now forced out at center ice. And Logan Cooley will get a change of players going for Utah by dumping it into the Leaf zone. Lead pass attempt there for Alex Nylander, doesn't connect. A crushing hit in there by Grabenkin, knocks his man down and breaks the stick of one of the defenders. And no call comes here as Lamoureux kind of got in the face of Grabenkin. Back of the net, fed around the boards, cut off there on the far side. Lamoureux trying to play it in. It's intercepted, and the Leafs have come out with a lot more energy, it seems, here in this period. Nylander, Alex couldn't get it into the zone. Brought back the other way now by Carson, who gets out to the right wing side, trying to drive the net, and his backhand went weak and wide, but it come to the near point where it's kept in. Far side now for Mata. Mata plays it down into the corner. Couple of Leafs in pursuit. Carson gets it back again, trying to get it in front of the net. That's knocked away. Utah with a centering effort that was blocked, and then Tanev decides, you know what, we got the long change here. Why don't I just give it to you, Joseph Wall? You put your glove on it, they'll blow the whistle, and we all get to go to the bench.
I had a guy do that to me once.
What happened?
Never did it again. And we got a face-off at center.
Well, so it worked.
Yeah.
It got out of your end. Perfect idea.
To an extent.
To an extent.
I don't know how Stenlund doesn't get a penalty when he took down Urbankin in behind the Utah goal. But the way the Leaf power play has been in the first,
no, he might not have wanted to do it.
Yeah, they've actually been better 5-on-5 here in the second.
Our producer tonight is Cameron Moore. Our board op is Jag Hang and Josh Lippa. Dolled up here again. Man must have about 85 different suits.
Look good, feel good.
No, look sharp, feel sharp, be sharp. Remember, only 10% of your shows. The rest is good clothes. Long shot deflects wide of the net, goes into the far corner. Love that line. Jerry Topazzini's Menswear used to have that line in their advertising in Sudbury, and I thought that was brilliant. Pass into the slot, knocked away by Steve. Backhand shot, though, is taken, and Wall had to make a good save there as the puck is in the Toronto zone. Played up on the boards, but not out. Now Ekman Larson gets it around for Riley. Riley got it out. Ow, that hit the linesman. That came up and deflected and right off of his helmet, I believe.
That had hit him and then went into the Utah bench.
Yeah.
So the face-off, now they've got to decide where he was, when it hit him.
Yeah.
And
well, he's supposed to be outside the blue line when the puck is in the offensive zone so that he cannot keep it in, and so that's correct where the face-off is outside the blue line. Speaking of Sudbury Wolves owner Dario Zulich has come up with this great idea to make the largest goal light ever, and the water towers in Sudbury, there's a couple of them, he has one of them, all decked out with all kinds of different lights that will go on, and so every time the Wolves score, that's going on. It's going to be the largest goal light. I think that's neat. Of course, a lot of planes are going to end up landing in Ramsey Lake. Play down into the Leaf zone. Puck along the far boards. Unable to play it back. There was Keller. Gets it again, sweeping it around Vermata. Oli Mata to the side of the goal. Good play by Tanev to block an exit towards the front of the net. Now a good play by Tavares to get him the way to play it into the far corner. Leafs trying to get to a loose puck. Tanev with it. Ran into the forecheck. Got it freed up though for Tavares. And Tavares with a long lead pass. Marner's in behind everybody. He's in. Score! From absolutely nothing going on, Tanev makes a good recovery of the puck. Tavares gets a look up ice, and guess who's in behind everybody?
As soon as Tavares picked up the loose puck, we could see it perfectly from our vantage point. Mitch Marner took off for the far blue line. And Tavares looked up, saw him, and then found Marner as Utah got caught on a line change. The defenseman going to the bench, and Marner walks right in on goal and snaps this over the right hand, catching hand of Vamulka to tie the game at 1.
I'm betting on your TV screen you had no idea that Mitch Marner was way up there. And there he was, in behind everyone, and the Maple Leafs end up tying the game at 1. So Mitch Marner equals the tally, and it's back down into the zone in the Leaf end. Here's Timmins carrying to center. Timmins to the line and in on the right side for Nylander, who stops up. Gets away from one. Nylander working in with and shot by Willie went wide of the net. Nylander back of the goal. Still with it. Nylander works into the near corner. And a penalty is coming here against the Utah Hockey Club. Nylander now with an extra attacker on. Timmins took a shot and his stick shattered. He'll get replaced as it comes around back of the net. Nylander in front of the net with a shot and into the chest of Vamulka. And covered up, and an interference call coming here against Utah. So Mitch Marner ties the game with his 7th goal of the season. And what a heater he has been on. The Leafs go to the power play when we return. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months.
What's up, insiders? All right, have you hit that like button yet? We're at 430 likes. And I just wanted to say cheers to all of you insiders hanging out with us tonight and every night. And just, there's the picture. Anytime you see me in the chat, TSI Mike or Toronto Sports Insider in the chat with the cheers emoji, there it is, right there. That was out to dinner with my boy. We went and got some steak tonight. Gotta enjoy it, right? Gotta enjoy it when you got a little bit of time there. Mom's got the girls, they're out partying. Dad's got the boy. We went and got some beer and steak. So, all right. What's up, Gina? Good to see you. Roll. How you doing, Roll? Cheers, man. Alistair. How you doing, Alistair? Rod Bottomley. It is a fried onion. That is Outback Steakhouse bloomin' onion and a cold one. The Aussie Blonde or whatever. Now I got some MGD. Got to go with the sale stuff when they don't have the good stuff at the store. Being here in the U.S., no Canadian beer. At least not at the store I went to. So, go Leafs go. What's up, Mario? What's up, Illinoisan? How you doing? Northern Farm Girl, so good to see you. Howdy. Now let's go back to the hockey. Go Leafs go. Big period.
To their third power play. Brought to you by the good folks at Subaru. Your Ontario dealers, enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. Face off to the right of Carl Velnauka.
Marner now points in 12 of his last 13. 6 goals and 20 points in that 13-game span.
Draw to the right is scrummed, and the Leafs come up with the puck. Marner back at the blue line. Slides to the near wing. Works down the right wing boards, goes across ice to find Nylander. Nylander far half boards, gives it back to Marner, who gets it back to the point to Morgan Riley, who gives it back to Marner. Marner down the right wing side with a pass in front of the goal. Jammed at there by the Leafs in front, and Minton had a good chance and another shot. That is deflected wide of the goal. Marner trying to get it back to the blue line. And Tavares trying to keep it in, but it is knocked to center. And Alex Kerfoot, the former Leaf, sends it down into Toronto territory. That's the best the power play has looked.
Yeah.
Marner dropping it back, and Nylander comes through neutral ice. Hits the line. Works to the left wing side. The pass brought back to the near wing. It comes to Marner. He fakes a shot. Holds onto the puck. Back it goes to Riley. Back to Marner. Top of the right wing circle, a shot. That was deflected but knocked away there by Velmelka. Marner with it again. Marner down into the corner this time with a centering effort that was knocked away. Cooley is going to play it out off the boards and down into the Leaf end. Both teams getting a change in. Pass dropped for Nylander. Willie brings it in on the left wing, slides into the left wing corner after it. His brother was heading to the front of the net, couldn't get it to him. Now Nylander, Willie gets it back to the blue line to Alex. Alex trying to play it back in, had it knocked away. Leafs get a turnover, down in front of the net with a backhand. Nylander stopped that. It comes in front of the net, a shot block. McMahon, a shot block. Rebound, hit the goal post. Oh, what a chance Robertson had there. Back to the point to Alex Nylander. To the blue line once more. Ekman-Larsson back to Nylander. Alex gets it back to Ekman-Larsson, the far side, and the shot deflects wide, and it's going to be cleared out and down the ice. My goodness, the Leafs had 2 real good scoring chances, and Nick Robertson finds iron. Penalty is over. But the best power play the Leafs have had of the 3.
Well, you said at the 5 minutes into the second period that they had a lot more jump than the first.
A shot from the left wing deflects wide of the Utah goal. Knocked down on the play. Lorenz takes his man into the corner, trying to come away with it against the boards. He and Connor Dewar diligently working on the wall. The puck has come back to Tanev. Tanev can't go D to D, so he sends it back into the corner from whence it came. Played around back of the net. Leafs with it once more. Curling out with a chance for Steves. His wrist shot went well wide. Drop pass back to the blue line. Long shot. Deflects high and wide. Tanev trying to keep it in on the near boards, but the Utah squad get it out at center ice. Or as you call them, the fellas. played right back down into the Utah zone. One of the fellas knocks down the Leaf player, and that fella is going to get a penalty.
Let's see a few more things about that fella after taking. And that was Sergachev that took down Leaf player.
Utah penalty number 98. 2 minutes for tripping.
That was Steves that was just going for a loose puck.
Got his stick in his skates. And this power play again brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today. You see what you've done to me?
What's that?
Well, now they're the fellas. You do it all the time.
You know what?
You ruined my train of thought. You just have done this for 27 years.
No longer than that.
Leafs on the power play. Marner back at the point as it comes to him. He winds, doesn't shoot it. Right wing side and a one-timer taken by Nylander. And that was blocked, and Marner makes a great play to keep it in. Works into the slot. Doesn't shoot it. Looks around back of the net, centering pass. Goes to Nylander. A pass back in front. Oh, and a great deflection from in. Now they score! From in the corner. Mitch Marner gets a gift. After all of those great scoring chances, the worst one goes in the net, and it's a 2-1 Toronto lead.
And I would say that if it was anyone but Mitch Marner, it would be lucky. But Marner knew that Vejmelka had come out to challenge when the puck was tipped wide, and Marner is in below the goal line towards the corner to the left of the Utah goaltender. And as Vejmelka gets up to go back to the post, Marner simply one-times it from behind the net below the goal line. No, right behind the net, but below the goal line
in the
to
corner.
The left. And it's, this is deliberate. And if not to score, at least to know that the goaltender was out of position for maybe somebody else to take advantage. 2-goal night for Marner.
Pushed out at center ice for Bobby McMahon. Works in over the line, has a man going to the net and unable to shoot it. Tavares does now. And Vejmelka was way out of the goal, and it went high over top of the net. Leafs have responded with a solid second period so far. Look out, Marner's got it again. And around back of the Leaf goal, and Timmins makes a nifty move to gain the zone at center. Another nifty move to get it off on the wing now to Bobby McMahon. Fixture controller.
Yes.
It's back down into the Leaf end. Wall will give it off to Benoit.
L1X.
Oh, really?
L2 triangle.
I've never played. You know that?
No. You gotta get a life.
Yes, that would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, icing call here against Toronto. I have to get a life. It's me. I gotta get a life.
I know. I've already confessed to you all the stupid things I've done in the last. Today I created Maple Leaf cards.
You know, it was built in less than a year.
That took me about that long. That was just putting the logo on the ice. God help me.
Yes. No one else seems to be able to. No, I don't believe so. Leafs get it out at center. Nylander working it on that right wing. In on goal, back has scored! Hey, Alex, that's how it's done. William Nylander, coast to coast. Leafs 3, Utah 1.
And a listless opening 20 minutes is all but a memory now. As Nylander picks up the puck inside the Leaf line, right wing side. Little stick lift, and away he goes. And as he takes it to the net, at first I thought Joe it was 5-hole, but I think he just goes back against the grain. He goes forehand, backhand. Nope, it does slip under the left pad of Vejmelka. But Nylander, when you come in with that much speed, the goaltender has got to open up.
Yep.
Because you think if you don't, What do we got here?
I think a timeout's been called by Andre Tournier.
I don't think it's a challenge.
No.
There would be no challenge for it.
No. But he is
rather animated
at the bench, yes. Vociferously explaining to his team that things in the first half of this second period have really gone down the proverbial hole in the house out back of the hut.
That was very well said. I didn't know how you could stick handle through that one.
See, a lot of people have never had to use that.
Yeah, but
and now we've got a fight started. Lawson Krause trying to get at Simone Benoit, and that is in direct response to the coach, Andre Tournier, saying, "Get in the game, you guys.
Go out and hit somebody."
So the puck had just been dropped. Now, are they going to have penalties here, or we're just going to have another face-off? No, we're just going to have another face-off.
That's where now he's got to call another timeout and say, "I meant after the puck's dropped."
Well, you only get the one timeout, though. That's the problem. Benoit now circles up towards Krause, but nothing else happens as it comes to center. Benoit goes back in his own zone and banks it out at center. Down the wall comes Lorentz. Steve Lorentz steals the puck, centers in front. Oh, and a great chance there by Connor Dewar is thwarted by the left pad of Velmelka. Played back down into the Toronto end. Back of the net it goes and played up on the near wing. Chipping it along the boards was Matto. He gets it back for Bukestad. Bukestad in the corner, trying to come out of the corner, goes back to the point. Ole Matto with it, walks the line. Still with it to the left wing side. A shot goes high and wide of the net. And it'll be played out into the center ice area. Wait a minute. How does Nylander score an unassisted goal on a breakaway?
Well, stole the puck just inside the line.
I suppose, but kind of, wow. Got an offside here.
But when you wonder why they've been able to mount the comeback here in the second, you don't have to look further than the score sheet to say, oh,
those guys.
Those guys.
Marner and Nylander have, yes, exactly. 3-1 Toronto, and you're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Guess who's coming to town? Actually, we were thinking of another legend.
Hey, it's me, Smokey Robinson.
Smokey's gift-wrapping Christmas soul classics from the 60s and 70s on his very own channel.
It's Smokey's Holiday Soul Town.
Now
go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, guys and gals. We really appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I want to see city and province and lots of Canadian flags here. These Leafs games, it's so fun seeing the spread of people hanging out with us here on TSI from right downtown Toronto all the way out through the rest of this planet. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go back to the hockey and come on, let's beat Utah. Go Leafs, go!
That's a big part of the equation. Connor can play better. He's one of the best goalies in the league. The Jets have been told by everybody, but me, I want that noted, I got this one right, that everyone said they're going to take a step back.
Under Review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
You know what? I've just decided if I ignore you, maybe you'll go away.
I was a middle child.
So what's that got to do with
Everybody ignored me, and I never went away.
Oh. Face off outside the Toronto blue line. 3-1 the Leafs with the lead, and they've scored 3 unanswered here in the second period with 8 minutes to go in it. Chip down in over the line. Kerfoot trying to drive in. Got it to the side of the goal. Good poke check there by Wall. And a good play made by Ekman Larson to force Kerfoot a little bit wider. Now the Leafs are able to push it to the line and get it out over the line. Grebenkin to the left wing side. Fraser Minton gets it down into the corner. Around on the boards, it'll come to the near side, and Alex Kerfoot gets it ahead to the line and in. Drop pass now. Here's a chance for Kesselring with a shot. That deflected wide, and it's going to come back out into neutral ice, forcing Kolyachuk back into his own zone. Utah get it up on the left wing. Almost too many men. Yep, not almost. There were too many men on the ice, and that isn't going to help the disposition of Andre Tournier.
Too many players on the ice.
So the fifth power play for Toronto comes as a result, and it's brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Enjoy fall to the fullest with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Visit your local Subaru dealer to book a test drive today.
So pretty good advantage now from a Leaf standpoint. Power plays. This is what, 5-1?
Yep. Draw to the right of Vejmelka. Jackson Stauber has been brought up. He's the backup goaltender. Pass on the wing. Marner doesn't shoot it. Gets it back to Riley. Riley walks the line. Gives it back to Marner. Closing with a shot. That deflected high and wide. Nylander chipping it back to the blue line. Just tipped in. Pass by Marner goes off his skate, though, and has come to center ice. Marner goes back to recover the puck. Works slowly through center. Still with it as he got it in on the left wing. Then he got knocked down with a bit of an elbow or a bit of a hook, and a backhand shot stop. Another penalty coming here. And Riley is upset because Marner got taken down with a knee on knee, and that was the penalty. Now we'll see if things get evened up here because Riley decided to.
But Riley really didn't do anything except pay his respects. Didn't throw a punch or anything. I don't know that anything more is going to come out of the scrum.
Was it McBain that got the leg out?
McBain is right in there with Riley now.
McBain leads the NHL in hits with 57 coming in.
Leafs, the way it was looking, are going to end up with a 5-on-3 for a minute 24. But unless Morgan Riley is going to even things up, it does not look so.
No.
Minor penalty for hooking.
So hooking is going to be the only call. They could have called one on Marner who got tripped, or unless that was the penalty when Marner was taken down right at the blue line. I thought the arm didn't go up until the Leafs got the puck towards the front of the net.
Yep.
With a huge advantage in power play opportunities, so you'd better get a little insurance right now.
I think Marner's arguing where the face-off is going to be because of the subsequent scrum.
Yeah, Riley
outside the blue line.
And I mean, if the D come in below the top of the circle, face-off will come outside. Leafs will probably argue that Riley was already down there.
Leafs have been on a 5-on-3 on 2 occasions, totaling a minute 34, and have not scored. Nylander drops the puck back for Morgan Riley. He drops it now for Tavares. Tavares is going to gain the zone down the right wing and gets it in across the line. Looks for a man and finds his Nylander. Nylander over on the far side for Marner. Marner comes back to the blue line. Looks to the near side for Riley. Got Tavares stationed in front of the net. Long low, pass in front for Minton in front of the net. He was stationed there but couldn't come up with the puck, and the Leafs are able to come away with it. Nylander again. Near side on a one-timer by Riley. Went just wide. Kept alive by Marner. Marner settles it back at the blue line. A wrist shot taken down. Rebound in front of the net. They bang away at it. Vejmelka has got his glove on top of it. 40 seconds left in the first penalty, minute 16 in the second. Morgan Riley kind of surprised everyone with a one-timer, didn't he?
Yeah. And that was a good play. He actually went back the other way and missed the far post. Leafs out shooting Utah 14-3 here in the second period.
Draw to the left of Vejmelka.
Power plays have helped.
Yes,
for sure.
it has. But their power play, which was anemic in the first period has been dynamite here. Here's Riley. Top of the circles, dropping it off. Now to Marner. Marner works into the middle of the ice. Down low it goes to Tavares. Back to Marner and a shot. Block, rebound in front of the goal. Minton trying to jam it home. And Alex Nylander couldn't get it. Willie with a shot. That's blocked. Alex can't come up with it. Puck is still free. Alex Nylander with it now into the slot area. Bad pass. Cleared off a stick and it'll come to center ice. Marner. In across the line. Left wing side into the half court. Back it goes to Tavares. Back in for Marner, and he couldn't handle it. And Kerfoot, bad backhand, had it blocked. First penalty is over. Tavares with a shot. Blockered away by Velmelka. Against the boards, Willie Nylander can't come up with it, and now here's a 2-on-1 break the other way with a shot. Pad save and a good one made by Wall. Rebound to Willie. Nylander in on the left wing. Nylander into the slot for Alex. Alex can't shoot it. It's back into the corner around the boards to the far side. Ekman-Larsson will get there to chop it along. Now Nylander trying to play it back to the net for Nick Robertson, and it'll be played up on the wing, and the Utah Hockey Club is going to escape both penalties here and are back at full and even strength with 4:38 to play in the period. Dominated by the Maple Leafs, but now here's Utah in on the left wing side, a shot, and that went high and wide. Rebound back to the left point, kept in momentarily. Pushed out by Fraser Minton, but they can't get any further, and it's back into the Toronto zone. Trying to play it along the boards there was Ekman-Larsson, and his stick exploded. Leafs have it back in their own zone, and Ekman-Larsson hoping to get to the bench in order to get a stick as the Leafs play it down into the offensive zone. Utah play it back out at center. Brought in by Cooley. Pass into the slot. Broken up by the Maple Leafs nicely there. Pushed ahead off of Bobby McMahon's stick. Robertson going to the front of the net as the pass comes back to him. His backhand was stopped by Velmelka. Velmelka had a pretty easy first period. He's been pretty busy here in the second. Kesselring turns back into the Utah zone. Dish it off to Carsoni, who got it ahead, but it was brought back, and now a long lead pass for Bukestad. Gets into the offensive end, a drop pass and a shot. That was blocked by Connor Dewar. Puck into the corner. Trying to work out of the corner with it is Schmaltz. Schmaltz is tied up. Leafs playing the puck and a broken stick, and a penalty coming, and I hazard to guess that this will be against the Maple Leafs.
That's what we talked about. Get the insurance marker. I don't think I've seen many games where the power plays were 6-1 in the second period, but it's going to be 6-2 now. It's kind of minimal, but it was the Leafs' turn for sure.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan.
Hey, Leafs fans. I just wanted to say thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight on a Sunday night. No Saturday night, no hockey night in Canada. What is going on? But it's all right. We're back. It's Sunday night. Let's go, Leafs. Let's get the W. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and becoming part of the best community on YouTube. SickKids Hospital Create 100K. We did big things in that campaign, and we're doing it again real shortly in the winter. Again for the Versus campaign, and then later next spring for Create 100K again. Just wanted to say thank you. You guys rock. SickKids rocks. Appreciate all the support and the difference that we've made in our community. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Go Insiders, go. We'll see you in the chat.
3 goals in the second period. Marner from Tavares and Tanev. Then Marner with his 8th from Minton and Nylander on the power play. And then Nylander on a breakaway on a Lone Ranger rush at 16:50 with his 14th, and the Leafs have a 3-1 lead.
Last night of the power play, Utah was 3 for 4 after going 1 for 24 in the 8 games before that.
Leafs win the draw, and it is shot off of Marner's stick down into Utah territory.
This is a huge kill for the Leafs. All the work to come back and take a 3-1 lead. You don't want to see that go back down to 1 before the intermission.
Cooley brings it down into the Leaf zone, pushed around on the wing, and back of the net it goes. Chris Tanev with a chance to clear, but can't. Finds his defense partner, though, and Jake McCabe wastes little time getting it out and down the ice, and he and Tanev are to the bench for exchange. Drop pass now for Cooley. Logan Cooley comes out at center with a pass onto the left wing side, tipped in by Clayton Keller. Cooley goes in after it. That draws a crowd. Grabbed off by Ekman Larsson, and he hammers it off the glass and down the ice. Utah will go back. Yeah, there were 4 of 28 in their last 9 games. So that little explosion the other night was welcome to the Utah power play, folks, as it comes back to the point. Sergachev dropping it off, getting a pass now for Gunther. Goes down the left wing side. Back it goes. Just kept in there by Sergachev. Puck along the near board. Sergachev gets it back again at the point. Played it into the slot, off onto the right wing side. No shot yet. Still with it. A pass in front of the goal. Good play there by Lorenz to tie up his man. 22 seconds in the penalty. Back to Sergachev to the right wing side. Down low. Sharp angle shot. Stopped. Wall had lost his stick, but he's regained it. Back to the near side. Off the stick of Gunther to the near wing. Pass goes into the slot area. Tipped by the Leafs. Ekman Larsson, but now grabbed off again by Utah, and then a bad pass. Gets out past Gunther and all the way to center ice. Out of the box is Benoit, and he is able to break up the rush and heads to the bench now with 1:08 to go in the period, and it has been an outstanding period for the Maple Leafs. Brought forward by Connor Timmins. Pass didn't connect there as it's brought back the other way. In with a shot, and down is Wall off the stick of Lawson Krause. And he will stop play to bring a face-off in the Toronto zone with 57.1 seconds to go in the period. And Wall and the official having a little conversation at the side of the net. Did you talk to the referees a lot when you played? Did you try to get on their good side just in case they might,
wave one off?
Yeah.
Back before video replay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, some were pretty good to talk to.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them, playing in the American League or even in junior hockey that went on to other leagues that I never got to.
You mean like bigger leagues?
Depends on how am I supposed to know? I wasn't there. They just went different places.
Different places, yeah.
Where Wayne Gretzky was.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure what league that was. I'm not sure what planet that was, to be honest with you.
But Paul Stewart, Dan Morelli, Billy McCreary.
Puck down in the Utah zone, played around into the far corner. 24 seconds to go in the period. Cole gets it out at center. Leafs trying to break up the rush at the blue line, and they have. And it is William Nylander sending it over to his defenseman. And now a bank pass is going to find Chris Tanev with 10 seconds left to go in the period. Tanev with a bank pass to center. Tavares looks across the line. Nick Robertson in with a shot that goes off a leg. That will run the clock out. Bit of a late hit by Nikita Grebenkin. This kid has become a bit of a fan favorite.
Well, I mean he was the story of training camp.
Sure he was. And then the back check, forecheck, paycheck line, which is about all the English he knows. And then that infectious laugh that took over.
And one thing I do know, paycheck got a little better.
Yes, it did.
In one phone call and that 7-hour drive down the Gardner.
He may have taken public transport.
Might have walked.
He may have taken the GO train, which would have got him here
From Coca-Cola
very
Coliseum to here. It's about, what, 7? I think on Waze it's 7 hours.
7 hours, yeah, probably. All right. At any rate, we'll ship it off to Anthony Stewart, who will join Jim Taddy. The Leafs with a 3-1 lead after a big second period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
To truly go inside the game of pro football, you need to see things from the player's perspective.
Let's go.
Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, catch the Player's Point. Join NFL tight end Colin Thompson and Packers running back A.J. Dillon as they break down the biggest stories in the NFL.
Hand off A.J. Dillon, powering his way. Touchdown!
The Player's Point. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on SiriusXM NFL Radio, Channel 88, and the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Tampa Bay Lightning General Manager Julian Britt.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The one that's watching the hockey game with us here on TSI, listening to the best call in the business, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. Please take a second to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game this season. I created this cool little 100K emoji for promotional purposes because we are just flying right now, bringing in new insiders. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider and hanging out with us. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's get the win against the Utah Hockey Club. See you back in there.
Opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid score!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
Kevin Cheveldayoff, Winnipeg Jets. What the heck's with this Kyle Connor? I'm curious what you saw and how it's evolved.
His offensive instinct, really just top end. It's just been one of those guys that, play me with this guy, okay. Play me with that guy, okay. In these last couple of years, he's learned to have the layer of the defensive structure as well. That's just made him a much more complete player.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Under review.
And nobody in Winnipeg wants to say it, but I'll say it. Connor Hellebuck did not play the level he's capable of in the playoffs. That's a big part of the equation. Connor can play better. He's one of the best goalies in the league. The Jets have been told by everybody, but me, I want that noted, I got this one right, that everyone said they're going to take a step back.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
An exit towards the front of the net. Now a good play by Tavares to get him the way to play it into the far corner. Leafs trying to get to a loose puck. Tanev with it. Ran into the forecheck. Got it freed up though for Tavares. And Tavares with a long lead pass. Marner's in behind everybody. He's in. Score! From absolutely nothing going on, Tanev makes a good recovery of the puck. Tavares gets a look up ice, and guess who's in behind everybody?
And that's the first of 3 goals at 5 minutes and 35 seconds for the Leafs. That's why they lead at 3-1 over Utah after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 brought to you by 241 Pizza. Give yourself a high five. Buy any large traditional pizza. Get up to
3 medium, 1 topping pizzas for $5 each. 241pizza.com. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. And Stu, I mean, they went to work fast there, didn't they?
Absolutely, and what a contrast it was from the first period, and it just starts with Mitch Marner just blowing the zone, and what a beautiful pass by John Tavares and hitting the stretch zone, and great finish by Marner there too. So really kudos to the superstars really stepping up, and they've been really carrying the mail in the absence of their superstar in Austin Matthews and some of the other depth guys as well too. So it was a clinic, but what was most impressive to me was just the start that they had. And in years past, we all know this story. We've seen it time and time again where it's like, okay, are they going to come out flat? Second's going to be worse. And then they might push at the end of the game now to make it a game. But they had a foot on the gas. The power play stepped up at big moments. So far through 40 minutes here, they have been the team to beat so far.
You got 2 homers and a bunt single. The Martin power play goal was a bank shot.
Yes, and kudos to William Nylander too. Just tremendous speed that he got there off the face-off there. A little forehand, backhand, 5-hole action there too. So again, they've been all over the ice, really taking over. And I was talking with Ralphie, before we came on here, just about the elevation and the leadership that Nylander and Marner and Tavares have shown throughout this year, just stepping up and rising to the occasion. And kudos to Treliving and Berube and really challenging these superstars to be better. And when the moment's called upon, they are stepping up and they are answering the bell and some.
Well, they knew what to exploit on Utah, and you could see that maybe playing in Pittsburgh and walking to the rink got to them. They were flat-footed in the second period. I take nothing away from what the Leafs did, but they blew right by them.
Yes, they definitely needed the yes guy chopper there, but they capitalized at key moments, and that's sort of been Utah's season where, yes, they have tremendous talent. They have some guys that can put the puck on the net, but just structurally, they have some big voids in their game, and they can get caught sleeping, and that was prime example on the first goal by Marner, with the stretch pass from Tavares right behind, split the D as well, and even the goaltending. Vermelka's been pretty decent, but he can get caught sleeping as well too, as you can see when Marner just sort of throws it on net. So they're a young team. They're an up-and-coming team too. They're going through some growing pains. They're a team of the future, but Toronto knew, okay, you know what? We have to put our foot on the gas now because we scored one. They are now viable to now, give up some more as the period went along.
Well, one of us, and it wasn't me, said look for the Leafs to score a couple of goals in that second period, and they got 3. They outshot Utah 17-6 in that period, and still I was hoping for something on the 5-on-3 power play.
Yeah, but we can't have our cake and eat it too, right? But we talk about this team being a finished product, and they're not there yet. And that's something when you have that killer instinct, because if you score that goal to make, or 1 or 2, that game is definitely out of reach. But I think right after that, Utah ended up getting a power play, and they could have got back into the game. So, again, this game is far from over, but I really like the way that some of the veterans have now put this team on the back and stepped up and had a big period for the Maple Leafs.
And the kids, Alex Nylander, Minton, and Grabenkin were very noticeable in that period.
Yes, Minton almost scored before Marner ended up throwing it into the feet of Vermelka. He actually almost redirected it and almost got his second of the year. He ended up getting an assist. Grabenkin as well has been having some big hits. He could have maybe got called on a hit from behind there, but he's noticeable as well too. I noticed Steves has got some legs. So the bottom 6, they've been stepping up, doing their job. Net positives, not getting caught in their end for any extended period of time. But Joseph Wall is playing like Joseph the Wall tonight, so we'll see how his third period is.
After the first period, we were talking about Holmberg with all the shot opportunities. He didn't get one in the second period, so he's locked at 1 on and 4 that don't get through. But when you look at the shot totals, Nylander had 4 and another 3 that didn't get through, and Tavares had 5 and another 2 that didn't get through. So, as you say, it is their best players that are leading the way.
Yes, and they dominated that period, and again, it was more direct. They weren't shy to put pucks on net. They weren't shy to shoot for sticks, and that's what Craig Berube's been preaching the last couple games here. Yes, they're a puck possession team. They have tremendous amounts of talent, and they can globetrot it up as an adjective there too. But when push comes to shove, they're not afraid to put it on net, and they're going to get the bounces like they did on that second one to make it 2-1.
Just looking at the hits department, I think there's about 8 of them, of the Leafs, that have multiple hits. So they're all involved that way too.
And it's about building and putting together a game. It's not just about a one-and-done play. It's forecheck. It's capitalizing on your power play. It's chipping pucks in, getting control, and just wearing down your opponent. And they're making that Utah team look like a tired team that played last night.
Yeah, they are. They're going after them, and I don't think we would have said this in the first period, but certainly in the second period, you saw the full unit. Everybody on the ice was participating.
They came in waves. They came as a 3-man unit, and all 4 lines have been solid through 40 minutes. But again, let's not forget Utah is young. They have some guys and game breakers in Cooley and Gunther, and some other guys too. So they need to come out and have a solid, first 5-10 minutes, and hopefully put one so they can put the game away.
Well, we'll see. It's 3-1 for the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. 3 goals, 5:35 apart in the second period. It starts with Marner on a nice breakaway, then Marner on a power play, a bank shot, then Nylander pretty well the length of the ice off a face-off, and 3-1. The last goal at my favorite time was 10:50. This is Leafs Game Night, Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname, right? Needed help contending with a blaze of debt. He called Alpine Credits and a superhero was sent his way. Summoning water, she extinguished the fire and consolidated his debt into one low monthly payment. His floors may be wet, but his debt is under control. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Not sure what to get the young people on your list? The latest phone, sneakers, video games? Get the one thing they need now more than ever. Give their feelings a place to go. When you donate to Kids Help Phone, you're giving the young people in your life and across the country access to free 24/7 judgment-free support. Because at the end of the day, it's their thoughts that count. Donate at kidshelpphone.ca. And together, we can give their feelings a place to go.
Discover more value than ever this Black Friday at Loblaws. Until November 28th, earn 25,000 PC Optimum points on every $100 spent on home, toys, health and beauty, and apparel. Conditions apply.
What's up, Leafs fans? How we doing this evening? It's a Sunday night edition of the Leafs hockey game against the Utah Hockey Club. Now, come on, we can't call them the Utah Hockey Club, so I think I'm going to put a poll up at some point during this live, probably in the beginning. What the heck should we call this team? And please keep it classy. We'll call them some in the chat. The Yeti, or isn't that their name they might get called? Maybe the Coyotes from Arizona, since that's what they are. We'll see. Give me some suggestions in the chat, but don't forget, hit that like button down below and share this link out so we can get more Leafs fans hanging out with us tonight in the best Toronto sports, Toronto Maple Leafs hockey community on YouTube. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in.
Sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
TSN Plus is taking game day to a whole new level with NFL Red Zone.
Absolutely incredible!
Subscribe now for every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon. NFL Red Zone, available on TSN Plus.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra RAV4 gas or hybrid. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Well, this is the only game in the NHL tonight. So I'm going to tell you that the Leafs lead at 3-1 after 40 minutes of play, and the Leafs are 10-0-0 with a lead after the second period so far this season. Marner with 2 goals has 8 in the season. William Nylander got his 14th. Alex Nylander had a couple of shots on goal and has played a couple of shifts with his brother on the same line, so we'll see where that goes. Yes, Guy, that means the third period is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
You're about to come in to some best.
Be inspired by Joel and Victoria Osteen.
Best opportunity best relationship, best health.
Hear motivational messages whenever you need them.
The best part of your life is not behind you. The best part of your life is the next part of your life.
Be inspired on Joel Osteen Radio, Sirius XM 128. Spread the word. Anyone can enjoy Sirius XM in the car during our Listen Free event, happening now through December 2nd.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
The Leafs carry a 3-1 lead into the third period on the strength of a huge second stanza after falling behind 1-0 in the first in a rather lackluster 20 minutes of effort. Marner from Tavares and Tanev, then Marner again from Minton and Nylander on the power play, and then Willie Nylander unassisted, his 14th of the season. 11th goal scored here this season, which is tops for anybody in the league scoring on home ice. So Willie likes home cooking. And since Alex is living with him, maybe Alex is a better cook.
Well, maybe he doesn't like it as much. He hasn't scored yet. So. But certainly, and I mean, the Leafs have played more games at home. This is their 13th home game of the season out of 21 games played overall. So the Leafs are going to have to make that up over the year. But it's nice to, it'd be nice to head down to Florida, and they still have 20 hard minutes here.
Wouldn't it?
With a little bit of a cushion.
Would be nice to head down to Florida.
The Leafs got some help from the West last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Dallas winning in Tampa, and the Colorado Avalanche beating the Florida Panthers.
Leafs attempting to hang on to first place in the Atlantic Division. So, they will open the Florida trip on Wednesday night. They'll have American Thanksgiving to enjoy on Thursday and Friday, and then play again Saturday in Tampa.
Nice couple of days off in between.
Well, I bet the weather's going to be very nice for them.
I'll Google it.
Close as we get to it, I guess. Anyway, Leafs to the right, and the Utah Hockey Club to the left, and the draw one. No penalties carrying over here into the third period as it's banked ahead and shot down into Utah territory. Leafs forcing the issue here, backing up as much as possible, and then puck turned over in the neutral zone. Shot right back in again by Lorenz to the far side. This time Steves is able to get it back, and the pass into the corner goes to Steve Lorenz, who gets it on the wing and back to the blue line. Quickly over on the near side to Jake McCabe. Shot went off a leg, deflected into the corner. Tavares couldn't come up with it. McCabe trying to keep it in, but it's pushed out at center ice. And Tanev is back there. Tanev up on the wing for Marner. Marner had it stripped away, and it is cleared back down into the Toronto zone, and Tanev will play it along the boards off a stick to Marner. Marner trying to get it out, had it blocked. Puck goes around back of the net. Tanev is there again, reverses his field to get it up on the wing. Marner trying to backhand it ahead, and it will be pushed out at center to Tavares. Tavares unable to get in deep, brought to the line, and then played on the backhand by McMahon into the zone, but Utah gets it right back out into neutral ice. The shutdown pair of Tanev and Jake McCabe has been outstanding. It was a tandem that was thought about in the preseason, experimented with, but they have really complemented each other rather well. Lead pass up on the wing, trying to chip it in. McBain gets around back of the net. Ekman Larsson got there. It comes back to the point. Near side for Kesselring. Kesselring's long shot deflects into the goal. And maybe it's just that end of the rink, because everything is going in at that end. That was a wrist shot that was deflected by Jack McBain.
And this is, great hands. McBain had a little space in front of Joseph Wall. And this shot is probably going 3 feet wide, blocker side. And McBain deflects it down and in. And you go back, Joe, to that 5-on-3 the Leafs had late in the second period that could have blown this game wide open. They come up with nothing. And just in one flick of the wrist,
and now
we got a 1-goal game again.
They're going to have a lot of people interested here now on that Utah bench all of a sudden, as it's a 1-goal lead. McBain with his 7th of the season. Played down in along the boards. Benoit couldn't keep it in. Hustling back after it, Connor Timmins, but he's being pressured hard. Puck comes back in along the near wing. Trapped there by Kerfoot. Kerfoot drops it off. Utah getting it back to the point with a shot. That was stopped by Wall. Rebound played by Nylander along the boards, but Alex couldn't get it out. Now a deflected shot on goal, stopped by Wall on the short side. And it'll be chipped by Grebenkin into neutral ice. Leafs are changing. Nylander got run over there in a collision with Ian Cole. Alex, no, he's all right, getting back up. He gets the pass to center, played it off on the left wing. Dewar was able to get it down into the offensive zone. And now here is Utah trying to get it out on the left wing. They'll get it to center, and McBain shoots it down into Toronto territory. Tanev got it freed on the wing. McBain freed it up again, and the pass comes ahead, but Steves can't get it out as it's knocked back towards the net. Tanev to McCabe off the glass and out at center ice. Racing after it was Lorenz, but he couldn't get it away from the defenseman Mata. Brought back now by Utah. A 3-2 hockey game, and it's going to be a tight one. Cleared to center ice and down into the Utah zone. Mata trying to get it out. Plays it around back of the net to his defense partner Kesselring. Michael Kesselring gets it out, and now at center ice, Utah trying to get in across the line, and they do. Wall out of the cage to play it around the boards, but it's right onto the stick of Nick Bukestad. Taken to the boards by Ekman Larsson. Then Riley has to take his man to the corner. Puck comes free. Ekman Larsson has it back of the net. His pass up on the left wing finds Robertson. Quickly onto the right wing side for Pontus Holmberg. Drop pass now. Nylander a shot. Oh, and that was stopped, and it's quickly cleared down the ice by Utah and iced. And it'll be brought back as Nylander let that shot go in a hurry, just coming off the bench.
The Leafs took a 2-goal lead into this period. You don't want to take chances, but you don't want to get back on your heels like you were in the opening 20 minutes either. So I think you got to be pushing for that insurance marker to get it back.
Face off to the left. In the offensive zone, Leafs win it. McCabe a shot. Knocked down chest high there by Vejmelka. And it's gone into the screen area. A bit of a late whistle from the officials who couldn't find it. And they're still looking for it. They had to get a new rondelle from the bucket in the penalty box area.
Leafs have won 56% of the draws so far. And John Tavares needs a big one here.
And he wins it. Marner tipped it into the far corner, then got knocked down. Puck is along the boards and pushed high to center ice, forcing McCabe back into his own zone. Jake McCabe circles, got it ahead, off Marner's stick. That goes down and is going to be whistled down. Is that offside? Yes, it is. So it'll be brought back with a face-off. Now they're going to say it's at center ice, so I'm not really sure what call was here. Santa Claus parade today. Lots of little tykes downtown enjoying seeing the big fella as it's played back down into Utah territory. Trying to get to it, Grabenkin. Knocked around the boards to the near side. And then a pass intercepted by Marner. He gets to the right wing side, got it back to the blue line, fed back in behind the net. Bobby McMahon after it. Tavares knocks it down to Marner. Marner stick handles through a crowd, got it back to the net for McMahon. McMahon trying to come out in front, had to go off a skate, and it's cleared to the line, but kept in by the Leafs. Now here's Marner closing on the right wing side, looking for the hat trick, and that deflected wide. Rebound around to the far side. Here's Marner now to the side of the net. McMahon tried to come in front. That was stopped. Tavares back to the point. Leafs pressing here. McCabe gets it in back of the net over on the far side. Tanev, a cross-ice pass, comes back to the near side. McCabe trying to keep it in, and it bounced to the line, but Lorenz was able to keep it alive. Tanev with a shot. That's knocked down. The rebound is pushed to the side of the net, and it is covered up there by Belmelka and held for a face-off in the Utah zone.
Boy, and a lot of the Utah players caught out with about a 90-second shift. The Leafs were just unable to take advantage of.
I'm just thinking that maybe I was really stupid there a little. Did I say Tanev and McMahon, or did I say McCabe? You weren't paying attention, were you?
What?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
I was talking about the number one pair and how well they are doing.
If you made a mistake, I didn't catch it.
Oh, all right. Nylander, Alex getting it into the corner for Nylander, Willie. Into the slot for Alex, but it bounced over his stick, and then hustling back was Benoit. And they get it in over the line on the right wing side. Stenlund trying to make a pass, intercepted by Timmins. Timmins gets it ahead, and Fraser Minton is out. Minton, a left wing feed for Willie Nylander, got it down into the corner. Minton got it around back of the net. Alex Nylander gets it back to the blue line. Here's Ekman Larsson sending it back behind the net. Minton tries to bring it back into the crowd. That's broken up. And now Utah playing it off the boards to center ice, and hustling back after it is Nick Robertson. Robertson was able to turn it away, and now brought back by the Leafs as they're in the midst of a change. Up on the left wing for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg down into the corner, has it knocked around back of the net. Do you think Craig Berube's an old softy, putting the two Nylanders together on a line every once in a while?
Not a chance.
Wow.
That would be...
Wow.
You show your brother how to do it, then do it together.
Do it together. All right,
Yeah.
fine. All right.
This wouldn't be a little bouquet to throw them. This would be go out and do something.
Gunther back of the net in the Utah zone. 13 minutes left to play in the third. And the Leafs holding on to a 3-2 lead.
Now, having said that, Joseph Woll got his start in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, come on now. All that gruff exterior, I think he's a big softy, personally. Out of the net is Wall to punch it around on the boards. Kesselring trying to keep it in. Does. It goes to the left wing side, and a wrist shot! And coming out to cover that up is Wall, and some liberties being taken in front of him by one of the Utah players is responded to in kind by Jake McCabe.
I know you want to respond to it, but you've got to know power plays are 6-2. You cannot gift wrapped an opportunity for the officials to give Utah another extra man advantage.
Leafs 3, Utah Hockey Club 2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
Two of the best teams in the AFC end Week 12 of the NFL season when the Ravens take on the Chargers. The Ravens have won 4 of the last 5 games and come into this one.
Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, guys and gals. We really appreciate you being here. Please take a minute to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. I want to see city and province and lots of Canadian flags here. These Leafs games, it's so fun seeing the spread of people hanging out with us here on TSI from right downtown Toronto all the way out through the rest of this planet. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go back to the hockey and come on, let's beat Utah. Go Leafs, go!
NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Hey, our listenership has doubled. John Shannon's listening. We got 2 people out there somewhere, I think. But nice to hear from Johnny.
That's why we don't like people to come into the booth, because
that's
one less listener.
Yeah, it's one less listener, yeah. Well, we're working at it. At least with it.
When you talk about old-time hockey, you need old-time hockey people like Sean Shannon again.
Whoa! Shot in off of the stanchion. The Leafs get it in on goal. That was up. The rebound is going to be pushed out and down into the Leaf end. Came off that stanchion and came right through the goal crease.
Boy, Bobby McMahon was over a foot to the right. Mitch Marner would have found him for an empty netter.
Now here's a chance for McMahon in on goal! And a good poke check made by Belmelkin to knock it away from him. Played to the center ice line and down, and now Marner plays it off the boards, and now McMahon with it again. McMahon in over the line along with a pass, and down. There's Belmelka to stop that. The rebound. He's fishing around looking in the wrong direction. Kept alive by Benoit. Over on the far side coming out from the corner. And that was knocked away before Pontus Holmberg could get a shot away. And it's cleared to center ice. Quickly up on the near side for Nick Robertson with room. Robertson driving the net with a shot. Raises the goal post. Has he hit 2? Didn't he hit the crossbar in the first period? Puck back into the center ice area. Now Robertson racing after it, but he won't get there in time. Icing called against Toronto with 11:14 to go here in the third period.
My brother just texted me.
Is he listening too?
He's listening too.
So there's the other listener.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can go home now.
I hope my dad's still listening.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm sure David is listening. They were doing the game in
so that's 4.
In Oshawa.
That's 4.
Wow. It's a ratings bonanza.
3 tech people?
Yeah, but they're forced to listen.
Well, it doesn't matter.
No.
That is our target audience.
Everybody in prison? Shot rolls it towards the net. Knocked away by the Leafs as it comes along on the near boards. And it's launched high to center ice. Racing after it was Lorenz. Following up on it, Connor Dewar. Dewar works around back of the goal. Now puts the brakes on. Tried to chip it in front. Knocked it down against the wall. They bang away with it. Lorenz is in there as well. Alex Steeves is hovering around in front of the net, hoping for something that resembles a puck that comes out there. And now it is Utah gaining possession, and McBain sending it back. And they'll now turnover again in front. Steeves a shot. Oh, and Belmelka bails out his defenseman. What a horrific giveaway that was from Ian Cole. And Belmelka comes up with a big glove save.
Yeah, from a Utah standpoint, you're not thrilled with the turnover, but Connor Dewar got his stick into the lane. just as Cole was trying to fire it up ice, and that's what led to the deflection into the slot. I think coaches prefer the defenseman to have a little more time and space before trying to force it up the middle in your own zone.
Draw one by the Leafs. It comes in front of the net. Another shot off the goal post. A crossbar and 2 posts already. That was Alex Nylander. Nylander with it now down low into the corner. Minton around back of the net. Trying to get free is Grebenkin. It comes back in along back of the net. And now Utah pushing the puck out into the center ice area. So the forward lines have been mixed and matched a lot as we get an icing call here. 9:59 to go, third period. And a change of players coming with the face-off in the offensive zone.
Leafs did start this line together, then got away from it as the game had gone on. But Alex Nylander cutting across the slot on the backhand and clanks it just past the right hand, the catching hand of Abelkin off the goalpost.
Draw one by Toronto against the boards. Pushed around back of the net. Nylander after it. Willie couldn't come up with it. He's out there with Robertson and Pontus Holmberg. Back come the Utah Hockey Club as they get a shot that goes deflecting into the near corner. He's trying to pry it free but fail. It comes out into the slot area and a wrist shot deflects over top, and Wall has no idea where that is, and fortunately for him, it's into the corner of the rink and up into the screen. He just backpedaled and spread out in the goal crease, hoping that he would find it sooner or later.
And you know what? This is a nervous period for him. Now you're down back to a 1-goal lead. We saw the previous goal was just a wrist shot deflection, and now you're only in a position to screw it up from a goaltender standpoint.
Well, it's 3-2, the Leafs with the lead, 9:31 to play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping.
Hey you. Yeah, you. The one that's watching the hockey game with us here on TSI, listening to the best call in the business, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. Please take a second to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on that bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game this season. I created this cool little 100K emoji for promotional purposes because we are just flying right now, bringing in new insiders. So thank you for hitting that subscribe button and becoming an insider and hanging out with us. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's get the win against the Utah Hockey Club. See you back in there.
This is the sound of an exciting Black Friday sale. And this is the sound of an exciting Black Friday sale at Sleep Country. Black Friday just isn't the same at Sleep Country, except for the best deals on the best brands. Buy one, get one free on best-selling pillows. Get a free gift with a minimum purchase. And right now, save the tax on everything for a limited time only. Don't miss out. The Black Friday event is on now at Sleep Country. Restrictions apply.
Well, we've started something now, haven't we? On X or Twitter or whatever it's called. Now we have people saying that they're listening too, so we're up to about 7.
While you're listening, you can go to my GoFundMe page.
Yeah. Speaking of internet, broken stick has the puck go down into the corner.
Let's see how well it works.
Well, I got a feeling this isn't going to pan out the way you'd hope. Utah brings it back in. Bukestad on the right wing. Taken down there nicely by Steves. Put the puck along the boards. Connor Dewar playing it up on the wing for Steves. Steves trying to free it up. Sends it back behind the net. And Benoit will ring the boards with it, and it'll bank out at center ice. Steves will try to force things, but it is quickly brought back by Utah and across the line. Machelli gets it to the side of the net, and the glove hand of Wall sneaks out there and gloves that and holds on. Toronto Marlies lost in a shootout. They've lost only once in regulation this year. And they sent a boatload of people down there at the start of the year. So practices and everything else with just a massive humanity.
But with
now a lot of the humanity is up here but they continue to win.
Probably played with about 11 guys.
Yeah.
I've had those games in the minors. There's all kinds of injuries. You've got your own injuries.
Yeah.
Then guys get called up because the big team has injuries.
Leafs Tavares gets it to center, flips it down into the offensive zone, pushed around the boards by Ole Mata to the near wing. Marner will force things, but it comes past the defenseman to center ice, and McCabe now shoots it right back into Utah territory. Bouncing puck played up on the right wing boards, and it is quickly played out at center, but Tavares is going to get there. His defenseman, though, turns the puck over. Brought back the other way by Schmaltz. Broken up nicely by Bobby McMahon and pushed back out at center ice. Utah backpedaling, both teams changing. 8:11 to play, third period. Leafs 3, Utah Hockey Club 2. Pass off a stick down into Toronto territory. Pontus Holmberg got it around back of the net, pushed up on the wing, broken up by Utah, grabbed again by Nick Robertson. Robertson stick handling in a phone booth in the corner, played it around back of the net. Morgan Riley just needs to get it out, and he'll get it out, and not enough to go for icing. And hustling down after it, Pontus Holmberg, who was taken down. The puck along the boards is now launched high off a stick to center. That should have been a high stick. It's brought in over the line now by McBain. McBain takes it down into the corner. Was that not above his shoulders? Played back to the blue line. Kept live.
It was close.
Kesselring over on the left wing side. Back to the point. Shot blocked. Rebound now to Kesselring again. Breaking his stick there was Nick Robertson, and a shot is swallowed up by Wall. And the whistle will stop play. That might have been an interesting turn of events.
You can review it as long as you don't touch the puck again.
And yeah.
Nick Robertson makes his way.
Is it touch the puck or control the puck?
Control.
That's what I was.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Face off to the right of Joseph Wall. The Leafs currently on their third 3-game winning streak of the season. The Ottawa loss is right in the middle of 2 of them. And the Leafs in the last 7 games coming in 6-1, outscored the opposition 22-11. When's the last stretch you can remember the Leafs giving up 11 goals?
Here's a loose puck in front of the goal. Oh, and the pad of Wall. Holy mackerel, what a save that was. The whole side of the net was there. It looked like it was a gimme. And the left pad snapped out there in rapier-like fashion, Dick, to get to it and block it.
But Wall really bailed himself out because he went down early on the backhand attempt. And then the player was Michelli, was it not? In on the backhand, just kept holding on to it and looked as though he was going to be just able to get around the left pad of Wall and slip it into the open net. But Wall, while he's leaning forward, propels that left skate back to the post and takes the goal away at the last minute.
Draw one by the Leafs. They'll push it up on the left wing and carry it to center. Fraser Minton trying to launch it into the zone, but it's a delayed offside. The Leafs will have to tag up. Utah has time and space now to move it up on the right wing. Brought on by Alex Kerfoot. Former Leaf dropping it back, and a shot rang off the goalpost. Pushed ahead now, and Leafs have numbers. Right wing side, Lorenz. Lorenz taking it to the net and made a bad pass. And that was for Minton, but he couldn't come up with it. Minton to Lorenz and a shot, and that deflected wide. Puck kept in by Toronto. Tanev chipping it along for Tavares. Tavares centers it, and it bounced over the stick of the Leaf player. McMahon going to the front of the net. That's too bad. And you look at Steven Lorenz and you realize, okay, probably the creativity isn't there as Tavares brings it back into the zone now with a shot, and it's going to be gloved by Velmelka. But what an opportunity that was.
Yeah, and I think the problem was, Joe, by the time Lawrence got in towards the net and pulled up, the 2 pass options were covered. So I don't think there was a play to be made except fire it towards the net. But Lawrence tried to find a teammate and it wouldn't go.
The play to be made was before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right to get them going. But anyway, At any rate, still 3-2 in favor of the Maple Leafs. 5:59 to go, third period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey, I'm Eric Church. I'm taking you inside my very own Nashville hospital, Chiefs on Broadway. Great.
Hey, Leafs fans. I just wanted to say thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight on a Sunday night. No Saturday night, no hockey night in Canada. What is going on? But it's all right. We're back. It's Sunday night. Let's go, Leafs. Let's get the W. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and becoming part of the best community on YouTube. SickKids Hospital, Create 100K. We did big things in that campaign, and we're doing it again real shortly in the winter. Again for the Versus campaign, and then later next spring for Create 100K again. Just wanted to say thank you. You guys rock. SickKids rocks. Appreciate all the support and the difference that we've made in our community. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Go Insiders, go! We'll see you in the chat.
Under review.
And nobody in Winnipeg wants to say it, but I'll say it. Connor Hellebuck did not play the level he's capable of in the playoffs. That's a big part of the equation. Connor can play better. He's one of the best goalies in the league. The Jets have been told by everybody, but me, I want that noted, I got this one right, that everyone said they're going to take a step back.
Under review with Mick Kerr. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Face-off coming in the Utah zone. And it's played around back of their goal. Chelly with it now, starting out. Robertson mirroring him. Played off the boards to the line. Shoveled in by Ian Cole. Wall out of the cage to get it back along the boards. Centering effort didn't work. Riley has it. Off the boards. Nylander can't get it out. It comes into the slot. Blockered away nicely by Wall. That is the 24th shot on goal for the Utah Hockey Club. Back Kesselring. Works in with another shot. Wall got that. And the rebound was tapped wide of the net. Utah buzzing here with 5:20 to go in the third and down a goal. Puck knocked by Nylander to the near boards. It doesn't clear. Fed over on the left wing side. Mata sends it to the near side. Trying to work free is Michelli. Got a shot. That went wide. The rebound back of the net. Grabbed off, and now Nylander gets it ahead. And Robertson got it to the line, but not out. Leafs fake a slap out, but Ekman-Larsson then gets it back, and now he's in trouble. Got it freed up again and got it off on the wing for Riley. Up ahead for Marner. Marner circles in his own zone, finds Ekman-Larsson on the left wing, and he'll carry it to center. Off the boards now, and here's McMahon centering! And Tavares tipped it on goal, but Bill Melka made an excellent save. 4.5 minutes to play. Chipped along the boards and back into Leaf territory. Puck comes free. Played ahead for Tavares. Banked off the boards and just got it out. McMahon will pressure. Puck comes to an open wing, forcing Utah back into their own zone. Leafs trying to win for the 13th time this season and the 10th time on home ice. Across the line, a pass into the slot. Schmaltz works to the left wing, passes into the slot, and it was out of the reach of Lamoureux. And now Marner starts back for Toronto. Marner just to the red line and dumps it in and heads to the bench. 3:50 to go in the third. Utah back in their own zone. Logan Cooley will get it ahead, but it's out of the reach, but apparently touched by Gunther because no icing. Leafs are back in their own zone as Benoit gets it up on the wing. Leafs don't get it out the first time. They will the second. And now Utah with it again, trying to break it in on the left wing. Keeping an eye on Velmelka to see when they might decide that a one-goal differential is time to get him out of the net for an extra attacker. A bank pass to the line. Lorentz was able to get it out at center. Robertson out there with Lorentz and Pontus Holmberg. Kesselring takes it all the way back into Utah territory. Turning with it is Ian Cole. pulled, forced back of the net by Robertson. And the Utah Hockey Club having difficulty getting organized in their own end, and there's 2:50 to go in the third. Robertson fakes chasing after the defenseman Kesselring. He gets it up at center, but it's blocked at the Leaf zone. Rink-wide pass for Robertson. Man going hard to the front of the net, but the pass by Robertson was out of his reach. It was more of a slap pass. Utah trying to come out, and Nylander chasing hard after him. Now a drop pass, and finally, with some time and space, shot into the bench. Never mind. That's two real good shifts by the Maple Leafs to keep the puck in the offensive zone.
And it's the simple things, right? Chip and chase, although give Utah credit. They've pushed here in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Once they got to within one, a little bit of adrenaline has gone right to the feet. And now you've got to figure 2:25 to go. Next possession time in the Leaf zone, and Vejmelka's hitting to the bench.
Draw to his left in the Utah zone. Connor Dewar lost the draw. The puck goes free into the far corner. Lorenz bangs in there. He leads the team in hits with 47 coming into the contest. And he led them in block shots the other night when he had 4. On back of the net, Mata got it up on the wing. Utah finally get it out of their own zone. Lamoureux shooting it down into the offensive zone. Vejmelka stays in the net so far. Pass off a skate but not cleared. Down into the corner, it goes and around back of the net. Michelli trying to come out. There's the goaltender leaving now. Backhanded by Dewar, but he didn't get it airmailed enough. And it's kept in by Utah. Back of the net, chipped along the boards, hammered off the wall, and out at center ice on a good play by Alex Steeves. Trying to get a change of players, but he can't get to the bench. Brought back in now by Utah with 6 attackers. Down the boards with 1.5 minutes to go. Back to the point. It goes in the one-timer. Is rattled wide of the goal. Rebound near side for Cooley. And a whistle. Face-off is coming outside the line.
Now, is that a glove pass, maybe?
Or high stick, maybe?
It was the linesman that made the call and then pointed to the face-off dot outside the Leaf blue line.
That's going to force Vejmelka back into the net, or at least onto the ice. And the face-off with a discussion here. Coming outside the blue line, Tavares wins the draw. Took a look, the goaltender's back in, but Marner gets his pass. Right wing side and a shot that was stopped by Vejmelka. 1:18 to go. Played out at center ice. Brought on, and Vejmelka heads to the bench. The puck is turned over at the Leaf zone and then given away. Into the corner is Cooley. Got it back to the blue line. Pass knocked into the air. Pushed into the corner then by McCabe. Back in the net, Tanev chases after his man as it comes around the boards and back to the point. Sergachev on the right wing side, a shot high over top of the net by Clayton Keller. 48 seconds to go. And it goes high and into the screen, and I would bet dollars to donuts that a timeout will probably be called by one of the teams here. With a face-off coming in the Toronto zone to the right of Joseph Woll.
Not sure why Utah is waiting so long. You got to believe that they're going to use this long change. Call one? No.
Face off to the right. No. Dimes to donuts. I just lost. And Tavares scrums the draw. Puck goes into the corner though. Gunther gets it around the boards to the near side. Nylander knocked his man down. The puck came in front of the net, poked to the line, but not out. Shot blocked. It goes around back of the net. Tanev pushes along the wall to the far corner. Nylander trying to get there as it goes around back of the net. Now back to the point. Jack McBain over on the far side. A pass, trying to get it in front with a shot. Is that wide as Gunther let it go. Kept alive by Cooley at the left point. Back to the point, Sergachev over on the near side. Pass in front, Fandon. Leafs can't clear. Tanev is hooked. Knocked down, the Leafs get it up on the wing. Tavares frees it up. Marner tried to feather it out, but had it blocked. Cleared ahead. Nylander has it. Nylander to center, empty net. Scores! Waved off. Doesn't matter. Time elapsed. Game over.
Well, that was interesting. Leafs had numerous opportunities to clear the puck out, but couldn't get a handle on it. And even it looked like Mitch Marner was going to flip it out to the middle of the ice to set up an empty net goal. That got knocked down. And Marner's shaking his head as if to say, sorry, boys, I know I got to do better there, but Mitch Marner, a big reason why the Leafs are able to cut back from a 1-goal deficit after the first period and make it 4 wins in a row and 7 of 8 to take a lead to Florida in top spot in the Atlantic Division.
So the Maple Leafs will go on the road for the next couple of games down to Florida. They tangle with the Florida Panthers on Wednesday night, and we'll have that action for you beginning at 7:30. And we hope that you will join us then as the Americans enjoy their Thanksgiving. And that will be an interesting night.
Yeah, and just reminded the reason Utah didn't use the timeout. They used it already after Leafs' third goal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, forgot about that. My bad. All right. Well,
my bad. I said it. We both said it.
Yeah, well, you are the analyst.
Well,
technically. Speaking of analysts, Jim Taddy along with Anthony Stewart will piece this together in the post-game show. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The push for the fantasy football playoffs is on Fantasy Sports Radio. Unbelievable! Don't make the wrong roster move. Don't start the wrong player. Don't make the mistake that will cost you a win.
Don't get cute once you get to the fantasy playoffs. Start your best players.
Whether you're jockeying for playoff positioning or need a win to secure your spot, get expert advice on Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87, and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Tampa Bay Lightning General Manager Julian Brisebois.
Can you tell us something about Nikita Kucherov, the player, the person?
He puts so much time working at his craft. He is looking to improve every little detail of his game, of his skill set. You know, he gets rewarded by being an all-time great player, and we get rewarded by having one of the best players in the world on our team every night.
NHL Morning Skate
with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick.
Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern
on NHL Network Radio,
Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The best player.
What's up, Leafs fans? We won. We got it done. Leafs win. It was way too tight over the hockey club from Utah. But, man, what a night. Everybody in the chat. Go Leafs, go. 3-2. Brandy Gale, good night. Thank you for hanging out with us from California, Brandy. Love having you here. Roll 6 of 6 dice. Cheers, my man. Mark Duffney. Getting that wave going. Veronica Dobia, so great to see you. Brad Smith, Pike, Alexander, Elizabeth, Richard Fewer, the one, the only Richard Fewer. I need to take a drink. I got a name to add to the list. None other than Mr. Jose Duarte with the $10 super chat. Go Leafs, go. Getting that chant going. Thank you, Jose, for that super chat, my man. Much appreciated. Got to give a few shout-outs there in the chat. Howler Coyote as well. Good to see you there, Howler. You wanted a shout-out. There you go. You see you mocking Northern Farm Girl. And Northern Farm Girl, shout-out to you. Wow. What a champion in the chat. Just kicking it. I see you up there in Alberta, girl. Get it, girl. That's how we do. All right. Jose's name is almost in the chat. And now I'm misspelling it. There we go. Now it's in there. Don Juan, good to see you. All right, Remu, 65. Leafs win. That's right, Leafs get it done. JJ Joe being the guy that makes no sense in the chat. Good to see you, JJ. Hanging out in the post game, I'm sure. David Chimenti, Mario Villiello. Love it. Villiella. Viela. How do I pronounce that? I'm sure I'm butchering the heck out of it. But Brad Smith, awesome to see you, man. Cheers, Pike. Cheers to you keeping the chat fire in this place where we hang out and have a good time together. Watching some hockey. Sorry, the green bag here is not doing good. But, all right, going to let the postgame run. As always, I will jump in and interrupt the postgame. I am starting the stopwatch right now. We're going to see how long before Jelly gets his highlights up from right now. Christine, good to see you. Hockey.
Nylander to center, empty net, scores! Waved off, doesn't matter, time elapsed, game over! Joe Bowen with the frantic end, 3-2 the Leafs win over the Utah Hockey Club. Welcome to Leafs Game Night, the post-game show live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. And Stu, that was the original bend but don't break Maple Leafs in that third period.
Yes, and what resiliency this group had leading up a goal 2 minutes into that third period. And they didn't really adjust their game. They just kept going forward. They had their foot on their gas. They had probably about 4 or 5 scoring chances in that third period. McMahon almost knocked one out of the air. Robertson hit a post. You saw Tavares, with a sauce pass from McMahon there almost scored too. So it was a gutsy effort. All 4 lines were involved in the play. They had some unsung heroes, but ultimately their big dogs and their superstars took over and stepped up when it mattered most.
I was just looking at the shots on goal. The Leafs outshot them 9-7 in that third period, but what Utah had was a lot of puck possession.
They did, and this is a young team that they have some players that can make some big plays, and Cooley and Gunther and Clayton Keller was one of the best players on the ice for the Utah Hockey Club tonight too. So they earned the win, they earned the 2 points, but I'm looking at a graphic now. This Maple Leaf team without 7 forwards. The fact that we're talking about them not just being in a playoff spot but leading the division. Great job by Craig Berube and staff too. This team is put together. It's the sum of its parts. And, we talked about possibly this group sacrificing offense. That's not the case because you're seeing the guys like Marner and Matthews, Nylander having a big night tonight. Tavares had 8 shots on net. Yeah. So it was a gutsy effort, group effort, but the big guys stepped up when it mattered most.
Well, I like it because it wasn't the best of first periods. It was kind of pedestrian. They're down 1-0, and 2 of the 3 goals in the second period were, I don't want to say set plays, but almost set plays. They knew what to do. They knew what to exploit, and their best players did that.
Yeah, we discussed it in that first intermission. We said it wasn't so much what Utah was doing. It was just what the Maple Leafs weren't, and they just didn't have their foot in the gas. They looked like they were trying to find their footing, trying to find a direction and set the tone, or waiting for the tone of the game to sort of set itself apart. But they came out in that second period, guns a-blazing. They were getting it on the forecheck. They were making some big plays. But I really like that goal by Marner here, the first one there. It was a really set play. Yeah. Incredible pass by John Tavares. And I think Marner's been caught a couple times stretching, and they get caught in their zone too. It finally worked, but just shows the speed and composure that he has too. And the power play didn't do as well as they normally do right now. I think it was 1 for 6 tonight. But they got a lucky one on the Marner bank pass. Minton almost actually directed his second of the year as well. And then Nylander with that great speed right off the faceoff. So those big guys stepped up. And we haven't even talked about Joseph Woll. What an amazing night that he had tonight. When relied upon, he stepped up, made a big sprawling pad save with 7 minutes left on Carsoni there.
My groin still hurts.
My groin. But again, he shows that he's been amazing. And it's not a controversy. The plan was there's going to be a 1A, 1B, and he just happens to be taking the crease and running with it. But I'm sure we'll see Stolarz next game, or at least one of the games for sure, in Florida on the road trip.
I would expect he'd play Wednesday in Florida against the Panthers. Just because, right?
I think so too. But again, just going down my list here, yes, Utah had a big, push near the end, but there wasn't really that thinking that the game's gonna, the Leafs are gonna lose this game, or they're gonna, have the game sort of be taken away from them. They just stuck to the system. D-zone, they were blocking shots. You saw Robertson block a big one in the third there, broke his stick too. Tanev's fronting pucks. McCabe making some big hits. So what I'm most impressed is, we talked about the guys missing, but the other guys stepping up. And we talked about the club versus team. This was a great team effort tonight.
It was. And, again, 7 forwards are out, and they've been out for quite some time. Obviously it's not the full 7, but they've been without Austin Matthews for a couple of weeks now, and they found a way. And I don't know what this means in terms of when everybody's back, but at least the leaders that are here, the core players that are here, are leading the way and getting some good support from some of the call-ups. So, I mean, that's a nice little recipe.
Yes, and in the pregame show, there was some discussion about, that third line and really trying to get an identity. They had a pretty decent game tonight. Alex Nylander had a great night. He could have had a hat trick when you look at the chances that he had to. And Minton, he's showing great composure. He's looking like an everyday National Hockey League player, and the fact that he's only played, I think, 6 games in his career, he had some good speed as well, too, and Grabenkin had some great hits. And what I noticed about him was, he sort of set the tone in that Vegas game with that big hit on Pietrangelo. He had a chance to line a guy up in the third period and maybe turn the game over physically, but he let off on the hit, knowing that, hey, you know what, now it's time to focus on hockey, not getting involved in those extracurriculars. So those are the little nuances of the game that I noticed from up here, too. And what happens is typically in years past we talk about, if Nylander has a bad night or Marner, the whole ship falls apart. Again, it's not just one guy stepping up. It's a group effort, and it's fun to watch from up here.
It is, and the Marley's line of Minton, Alex Nylander, and Grabenkin, I don't know when they actually stay here, or if all 3 of them do at some point, but at least it's on the way, and that's an important thing. I think that's been a missing piece for this team in a long time.
It has, and credit to Craig Berube. It's not like you're calling these guys up and giving them some garbage time minutes. Grabenkin did have 7 minutes tonight, but he had 11 the other night. Minton at 15 minutes. Nylander, 10.5 minutes. And so these guys are getting involved. They're not just warm bodies on the bench, keeping, the ice and the puck warm for the big guys to come out. They're out there. They're contributing, whether it's a hit, whether it's a good forecheck, whether it's being a good solid F3. They're doing those fundamentals, and they're just sort of plugged into the system where they're noticeable. So as a coach, when you're making roster decisions and you know that you have guys in the minors that can come in and step up, it just adds to that accountability factor, and it adds to that competition. And we talked about the logjam, I think it was 3 weeks ago. When everyone gets healthy, I just imagine now if Nylander's having a great season and Minton are in the next 4, 5, 6 games, they're going to have some really, really tough decisions to make, because we talk about in this league, you need young guys stepping up, and you need guys that are on cheap cap hits being key contributors to your lineup.
Well, I couldn't tell you the last time they would have had an entire Marlies line that you'd look at and go, yeah, they're going to be here sooner or later.
Yeah, we'll see them on the 35th of February. That was typically what it was, as it was always a veteran lineup, and they were always going for that Stanley Cup. But great job on the staff and the scouting staff and bringing some guys up that can contribute, but really building that roster into the identity of, hey, when we step in, they have to play Craig Berube hockey. So far, so good for them.
So when you look at the event summary, you either go to block shots or hits. Block shots tonight was 10 for the team, which is kind of low. The hits are 33, and I look at Alex Steeves, who played 11-19 tonight. He had 6 hits.
Oh, great job by him. You saw Lorentz had 5 hits as well, too. Steve's had some great jobs getting the puck out when they got stuck in the zone, and he'd come in and just sort of seal off that wall. And just those little plays that, as a coach, it shows that you're ready to be a pro, too. So he had a really solid game as well. Riley had 4 shots on net.
Look at JT.
Where's he at? 8 shots?
8. Another 2 missed, 3 hits.
So,
yeah.
And I had a coach in Kirk Muller, and he talked about, to have a solid game, you have to have a good 5 factor. So it's a combination of shots, hits, and block shots. You knew you had a decent game when that adds to a minimum 5. And you go through the Leafs roster tonight, there was a lot of guys 5+. And when you have majority of those guys in 5+ with their 5 factor, it usually equals to a win.
Well, I think it's easy to say there aren't any passengers here.
No. And I'm looking at the ice time, too. You didn't see anybody on the offense, at 23, 24, 25 minutes. And how many times did we see that last year where, they scratch out a win where they come back in the last 3-4 minutes with the goalie pulled, and you look at Marner and Matthews with 25 minutes, 24 minutes. It was a great, great team effort. Everybody stepped up. Everybody contributed, not just on the goal sheet, but, in all 3 zones.
So now getting set for another, I'm not going to say soft week, but not busy week is the better way to describe it. Wednesday in Florida, Saturday in Tampa, then back here to play Chicago a week tomorrow night, and it gets busy after that. But this is a nice little sort of pull over to the side of the road part of the schedule.
Yes, you get to get the Speedo out and go down to Florida and
get the pommel horse.
Get some R&R out there. But, it's Craig Berube talked about, just working on sort of the system stuff that he wants to implement and going in and getting pucks in deep and getting rid of the puck a little bit earlier, a good north-south type of game. And again, I think it's going to be a good test against this Florida team who they're battling out for the top of the Atlantic Division. So it's going to be a good test. But what I like is we're not sitting here letting the sideline stories or the outside noise take over. I'm amazed. I'm amazed because I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, what's going to be the headline today? Is it going to be contract? Is it going to be goaltending? Where in the world is Carmen Austin Matthews today? And but it's not. It's quieted down. It's to a dimmer. And as a fan, as an analyst, I'm just like, we're focusing on the games. We're focusing what happened in the second period. We're not focusing on all these things that the players probably shut out. And that's what.
What's up, guys? All right, interrupted post game. I had to do it. I'm sorry. Jelly's got the highlights out. I'm going to pin the link here in the chat. I just put it in there. Rick, that is awesome, man, that you were subbed to Jelly before you were even subbed to us. Jelly's been doing this for a while, 5 years. Crazy, man. And Jelly gets these highlights up immediately after the game, like 10 minutes after I started my stopwatch way too late, I have to admit. But go check it out. And if you are not subbed over there, get on it and hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell over there for Jelly's highlights. And Pike sharing another link there as well. I don't even know what that is yet, but maybe it's the same one. I don't know. All right, there you go, Christine. All right, I'm going to take it back to the post-game intermission / fun win over Utah tonight. I love it. All right, I need to go refill my beer and talk to my buddy True Killer on Discord and X about my Foot Champs games that I think he's trying to cop out on right now because people are DCing on the servers or whatever. All right, I am getting in here right now and jumping back upstairs to listen to the Raptors' final part of that game, and I will send everybody from the Raptors over here, and then I'm going to send you over to my SOP stream with Manchester United. Anyways, I'm done talking. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm sending it back to the post game. Cheers, everybody. What a community. My beer is upstairs. Good night. We'll talk to you guys soon. I'll let the post game run as always.
The big contributor, too, in the coaching staff.
Yes, and apologies for forgetting his name, too, but I can hear him from upstairs in the press box, too, just how vocal he is on the penalty kill. And there was a question to Craig Berube earlier on, does the team sort of take the personality of him? And I think they do, where they're just no nonsense. They go out there, they play the game solid. They stuck up for each other again. Any scrum, it wasn't just one guy in there. All 5 guys were in there, too. So we're seeing some culture and identity be built, and I think that was missing, and that's an added ingredient, and that's why they're winning these games.
Well, look, they're 13-6-2, so that's 21 games. They passed the quarter pole on the NHL season. And when you look back over what's happened, if you want to deal with the record, which would be misleading, not the record's misleading, but to just deal with that, it's how they got there. This is a remarkable run in 21 games.
It's been amazing as they sit atop 3-point lead now on Florida, who's lost 3 games in a row. So that's going to be a big game Wednesday night. And I like that they've switched some of their weaknesses to strengths, right? The power play went from dead last into the league, into the top half of the league as well too. We talk about all the firepower that they have in Nylander, Marner, Matthews, JT. Defensive metrics, they're in the top 5 in most metrics in the entire leagues. And that's with that superstars that are playing a good two-way game, and they're having young guys inserted into the lineup. So just the system. And, I coach young players, and I don't have the tremendous talent that Maple Leafs. I stress the system, and it's fun because I believe in it. And sometimes it doesn't work, but when you're seeing it out here with superstars that are buying in, it's easy to coach, it's easy to watch, and you usually get those results, and that's why they're getting it right now. So they're sitting right now atop of first. Yes, it's only the quarter point, but if you told me 7 guys were missing, Austin Matthews has been hurt, they stripped the C, there was a controversy early in the season, the goaltending, I would say, you know what, if they're sitting in a playoff spot at this point, count your lucky stars. But the fact that they've wrapped this up, it's been great.
And only one or two mentions of, are they going to re-sign Mitch Marner?
Only one. I saw a tweet earlier on today, and I think O-Dog was on the panel discussing it too. So we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I think probably the way you were trying to describe the power play, but forgot your own material, was it went from nothing burger to overflowing buffet.
Yes, and that's the great quote of the year so far with the nothing burger, and they simplified it. They got pucks through. But we've seen the emergence of, before he got hurt, Matthew Nyes and a net front presence. Riley went from power play 2 back to power play 1 to 2 back to 1. And zero controversy there.
Yeah.
Marner's not afraid to shoot the puck. Nylander's been stepping up. So it's just guys elevating, and that's what you want. Guys owning the moment and elevating. And I'm seeing the maturation, the evolution of Nylander, Tavares, and Marner as well too, who's just been stepping up, has been tremendous. So let's now, where we're talking about the contract status, he's going to let his play do the talking. He's playing great. He's playing at an elite level, and it's easy for me to sit here and say he's playing as if he's one of the top players in the whole entire National Hockey League.
Okay, 3-2, the Leafs win over Utah. We'll come back and wrap it up further. This is Leafs Game Night, the post-game show live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This is the sound of an exciting Black Friday sale. And this is the sound of an exciting Black Friday sale at Sleep Country. Black Friday just isn't the same at Sleep Country, except for the best deals on the best brands. Get hot prices on lifestyle bases starting at only $899. Enjoy a free gift with a minimum purchase. And right now, save the tax on everything for a limited time only. Don't miss out. The Black Friday event is on now at Sleep Country. Restrictions apply.
Enter the amazing universe of 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil, an acrobatic retelling of a classic tale, a forever-lasting experience for your kids and the kid in you. 'Twas the Night Before by Cirque du Soleil in Toronto, playing at Meridian Hall, December 12th through January 3rd. Tickets on sale now at cirquedusoleil.com.
Here we go. Football is back, and Overdrive is your place for all things NFL. Join the huddle with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog as they go helmet to helmet with their hottest takes. FanDuel is also the exclusive home of the Overdrive Thursday Night Football Same Game Parlay, so you can ride with the guys each week all season long. NFL action starts with Overdrive, powered by FanDuel. Please play responsibly. 18 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. Visit connectsontario.ca.
Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. Leafs win 3-2, and their winning streak grinds on. They go on to Florida against the Panthers Wednesday night, Saturday night in Tampa, then back here a week tomorrow night against Chicago. When you look at this game, here's what I like about it. Not a great first period, as we detailed. The 3 goals come in 5 minutes and 35 seconds in the second period. These are talent goals. I'm going to call them all talent goals. And then they go back to their DNA, what they're supposed to do, and they do their job. They do allow a goal, but they did everything they were asked to do. And wasn't a great night in terms of, like, they didn't try to run up the totals after they were up 3-1. They just went back to what they were supposed to do. Now, that's something you wouldn't have said last year.
Yeah, they didn't cheat the game, so we'll call that maybe it's whack-a-mole hockey, where the talent steps up, boom, takes over, and then they go back in that shutdown defense. But I think it's just, we again, I'm not going to get into the gymnastics references again, but regardless of what your forte is, everybody in the league knows how to play defense and good team defense. And it's not about just sitting back on your heels and collapsing, protecting the middle. It's, knowing when to make a play at the blue line. It's knowing when to get it deep. It's knowing when to pinch. It's knowing when to exaggerate having an F3. And the Leafs have gotten that, instilled into their identity. Very rarely, I'm trying to think of 2-on-1s or 4-on-3s or 3-on-2s that they have given up consistently in a period. Yes, they'll have their gaffes. Yes, they'll make some mistakes here and there, but just to a man and to a game by game, they're playing that fundamental hockey, and they wait for their opportunities. And any turnovers or any mistake that the opposition makes, they have that talent to make those high-level plays. And with that system, it's letting guys like McMahon get off to the races on a turnover. Even like Robertson, who hit the crossbar in the third period as well. You saw Nylanders go off the faceoff. You know, the guy got caught flat-footed. So you almost have to play a perfect game or try to run the Maple Leafs out of the building or capitalize on those little mistakes that they make and hope that their power play doesn't take over the game. It's very, very tough to defeat a team like that, especially now when they believe, regardless if we're missing our top players or not, they have a chance to win.
What I like about this is something is asked a little more of everybody, and so the core players rise up. The support players rise up, and guys from the Marlies rise up. So, and that's relevant for that to happen, and it's nice for that to happen as the regulars come back in. Nyes and Matthews are on their way back. The people that have elevated understand they were given an opportunity and they rose to it. So now they have to go back to where they were, but they do that with more confidence, don't they?
Yes, there's that internal competition, but knowing that if you do play well, you're going to get rewarded for it. And you see some ice time of some of these players really fluctuate, and that is Craig Berube challenging guys or rewarding other guys too. But the one thing I think we forgot to mention and we haven't mentioned enough, if there was 2 or 3 injuries on the blue line, it's a totally different story. The defense.
We've been there a couple of years
right?
ago. Yeah.
If I'm building a defense core, and yes, it's great to say, yes, everybody wants a Cale Makar or a Hughes, but the way that they complement each other and the way that they have this chemistry and they gel and they just are a cohesive unit, it's a 6-man unit, each guy has their role and steps up at different times. That is the main symptom of their success right now, and they're getting the saves, obviously from Wall and Stolarz as well too. But I don't think enough credit's been given to Morgan Rielly or OEL, McCabe, Tanev. Timmins is I think has been one of the stories of the defense of the year. Just the trust that he's gotten from Craig Berube. Simon Benoit inserted to the lineup last couple games is playing a good physical role too. So that defense, I think it starts and ends with them. How they show up every single night, it sets the tone for the rest of the team.
I don't think you've had much worry over the first quarter of the season about what happens from the blue line in.
No, it's just the fundamentals. And again, for me, I was a player that cheated the game defensively. That's why I probably retired a couple years a little bit too early. But it's fun to watch. It's a very good treat to watch from up here, just how they don't give up much. It's almost like a wall behind the wall, excuse the pun there. And it's easy for the defensive coach and Craig Berube knowing that, hey, you know what? We can send either of these guys over the line, over the boards, and they're going to perform.
Well, I like the pairings. I mean, they complement each other. In the past, we've seen some good players back there, but the pairings weren't necessarily great with chemistry. And I don't know about you. You played. For me, it was always if you don't have the right partner in the blue line, this could be a disaster for both of you.
Yes, and I've seen some of the segments. The defensive partners that Morgan Rielly's played with over the years, and he's got OEL right now, who's a left shot, and we haven't even talked about that. He's not getting beat or he's not misreading plays. He seems like whether he's on the left or right side that he's going to continue to play his game. And Rielly has been very, very solid this year. I believe he's got 14 points now. I think he had 13 before tonight, but he's been solid. McCabe has been a wall back there too. Tanev, I'm like, what fountain of youth is he drinking from? Because he's got a hop in his step. He's blocking shots. Like, I just remember him in Calgary, broken foot, teeth missing. And, the fact that he's got a hop in his step, one of the quicker guys back there. It's for me, I'm like, man, I wish I could play because I'd probably have a lot less minuses than I did stuck in my D zone for as long as I was.
Stu, I got to say, sometimes you look at the scoring summary and you go, what? I mean, how did they play that game and only get called for 2 penalties? Because they were physically involved. They did a lot of things. And I think that's a form of art to play a game like that and only get whistled twice.
I think it comes from the philosophy of the coach, right? And when he talks about, hey, we don't want any bad penalties. So, if they're coming on the back check, they're not just trying to hook a guy down. They are moving and working to get back. And, I'm thinking of guys like Dewar and McMahon. And they play a heavy game, but they use their feet. They're using their legs. They're using their energy to get in on the forecheck and turn pucks over. Same thing with Robertson. So they did get caught for the interference on McCabe. And we knew just based on the penalties that Toronto got the first 2 of the games, first 2 power plays, that this one was coming. And the other one, who was the other one? Benoit for holding in the second period as well, too. But I think it's just that philosophy saying, hey, make the other team earn that power play. So I think it's their legs. It's their legs. They're skating and they're not cheating the game.
I think it's relevant because when you go to the third period where they were hemmed in, I mean, that's a penalty looking for a place to happen, and it never happened.
It didn't. And, as a player, you should never admit this. And I remember sitting there, in that D zone. I can't get out to Lidstrom. I can't get out to some of these D. And I would just be like, I don't care if they score. I am so tired. Get me off the ice. But, I saw early in the first period, too, I think they were hemmed in. Marner lost his footing. And he got into the lane. He rushed to get into the lane. And then he went up to, and I'm like, if they got that shot through, no one would really fault him because he is a superstar in the league. But it's just that philosophy. So what happens with the group, if you see your superstar player diving or rushing and putting his body in the line to really get in the way of that puck, that's contagious. And if I'm a third, fourth line guy, I'm like, man, if he's doing it, I got to make sure I do that and do what I need to do on every single shift. So the fact that they're playing a good defensive system, and it's not forced. It's not like guys are playing out of their means. It just seems like every single shift that goes over there, every line that goes over the boards, they're going over there knowing, you know what, we have to pay attention to the D zone on the details on the D zone of the puck.
Coach's comments are brought to you by Honda. Score a $1,500 Honda bonus on the CRV LX. Conditions apply. Visit HondaOntario.com. Coach Berube, postgame, starting with a conversation on Alex Nylander.
He was fine. I mean, a couple chances, a couple looks, used them in different situations and stuff, but I thought he was fine overall.
What was your sense of what this moment meant to the brothers and maybe your inspiration to get out?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, for sure. Anytime you can play with your brother and play some shifts with your brother and be on the ice with them, that's a special thing. It's a special situation. Very happy for both of them and their dad, who was a player in the league for a long time.
Another multi-point game for Mitch Marner. Are you seeing anything different in his game recently, or is it business as usual?
I think it's business as usual. I think, even, early on in the year, he was playing really good hockey for us in all situations, not just scoring and everything. I find he's shooting a little bit more, which is great. I think he can still shoot more. But, he's doing a real good job for us.
What's your level of trust in that Lorentz line to start the game?
Yeah,
obviously.
Well, I got a lot of trust in their work. I think all three guys are very hard workers, responsible players. So they started the Bukestad line, and I thought it would be a good matchup for them tonight, and they did a good job against that line. That's a good line. It's a big line, but these guys work and compete hard, and they're in the right spots.
How'd you feel you closed the game out there in the third period?
I thought we did a good job overall. I thought that we had some pucks in our zone that we should just got out, and we didn't do that. Tried to make a play or, just kind of, we weren't heavy enough on it. We should have got the puck out a few times with the goalie out, and we didn't.
Nick Robertson still seems to be getting a chance.
Yeah, but, I thought Nicky had a good game, though. Worked extremely hard, was in the right spots defensively and did his job. Had some looks and it didn't go in. I mean, he's just got to stick with it. It's going to go in eventually for him. We all feel for him, and we want him to put the puck in the net. And he's just, it's not easy. It's not... I wouldn't know anything about it because I didn't worry for goals, and that's part of his job. But he did some real good things tonight, even though he didn't score.
How does this set you up for a big week of divisional games?
Yeah, big week coming up in Florida for sure. Two teams that are very good in our division, and we'll see if we get any healthy bodies back. But it's going to be a battle starting in Florida.
Coach Berube, after it was over, talking about Robertson, who ripped one off the far post low, but he did have opportunity, didn't he?
He did, and I completely understand this league being a league of results, right? But we're looking at him and where he is, this season with one goal this season. If I'm the coach, I'm saying, yes, I want a little bit more results, but the process is there. He's getting his shots. He's getting his looks. I think skating through the neutral zone, he's probably one of the best players on this lineup in advancing the puck through the neutral zone. I think he's got to work on his in-zone play a little bit more and holding on to creating plays, but he's fine. He is fine. And the puck, if you sat here and said he's got 6 goals right now, I would not be shocked. I would not be surprised. He should have it. And we talk about it, the smiles and the cries. And I think for him, it's just frustrating, right? Because we know the situation about him getting an opportunity versus not, the possible trade request in the offseason, him having a great preseason, scoring 5 goals and leading the team in preseason scoring, and it just not transitioning into success early on in the season. So he was out of the lineup a couple games as well, but it comes to me, it's about the process, and it'd be different if we're sitting here saying, you know what, there's 3 or 4 guys that are potentially taking his job. He has that competition now too, but I think he's going to elevate his game, and he's earned the trust of Craig Berube. He had 16.53 tonight. I think it was one of his highest games on ice this season, and he's just got to continue to build. But I go back to what I was talking about in the pregame. Start shooting the puck. I need you to have 6, 7, 8. You got to have a John Tavares night. Put 8 on net. Yeah. And if you're going to miss, well, make sure it's another 2 or 3. So volume. Go to the net. It's not going to be pretty, and just try to get an ugly one. And once it starts, it's going to continue to roll.
One more piece of sound. Actually, we'll do this on the other side. We'll listen to Alex Nylander and what he had to say on the other side of this. 3-2, the Leafs win over Utah. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Europe's top soccer clubs are battling it out in the UEFA Champions League, and you can hear all the top matches on Sirius XM FC.
Oh, Mo Salah! Simply sensational!
2 of the world's best meet in a rematch of the 2022 final as Liverpool take on Real Madrid.
And Jude Bellingham's driving, scores!
It's the Reds versus Los Blancos, live from Anfield. Coverage begins Wednesday at 3 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the Sirius XM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Score!
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Scotiabank Arena, Jim Taddy and former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. Going to deal with Alex Nylander now, who was +1 in the night, played 10:37, had 2 shots on goal and 2 that didn't get through, so 4 shot attempts. Looked pretty good out there, and at times played, probably 2 or 3 times, played on the same line with his brother. Here's Alex Nylander postgame on what he will remember from tonight.
I mean, a lot. It's just an amazing feeling and really special feeling to be here on this team and my brother here. So it's something I remember forever.
What did it mean to get some shifts together?
Oh, it was really cool. Yeah, we almost had a chance there to get one, and it was a lot of fun. Just kind of know how he plays, so just kind of read off him, and it was really special.
say anything to your dad before the game or during the game? I'm sorry, not during the game, obviously. But did you say what was the conversation during the day with him?
Yeah, he obviously is really happy and it's a big moment to play our first game. And he just said, same thing as every game, just play your game and work hard and be heavy on the forecheck. So just the same thing as usual. And it was good.
You played quite a few NHL games. Were there any nerves today?
Actually, I felt pretty good out there. I thought it was going to be a little bit more, but since I played a lot of games last year and there in Columbus, that helped. So I played in this level, so just felt good out there throughout the warm-ups and stuff. Obviously, I had a little bit of nerves, but not too bad.
As more forwards get healthy, what do you think you need to do to stick with the big club here?
Yeah, I obviously just got to work hard every shift. Like I said, be heavy on the forecheck, win battles, and when I do that, the rest of my game comes. Obviously, just try to use my shot as much as possible, and create plays and be good defensively.
Alex Nylander postgame. So what we discovered in training camp is real. They have depth. Don't know where exactly this goes or what that means for the future, but it's there.
It's a good problem to have if I'm Tree Living, Brewery and Co., knowing that, again, you don't obviously want 5-6 guys injured at a time. You usually used to maybe 1 or 2. But knowing that you have guys down at the farm that can come in and look the part. Watching from up here, if you said, hey, pick the 5 guys on the Leafs roster that the AHL players, I think it'd be really, really tough to pick some of these guys the way that they've been playing. And that's what's most impressive by me, is these guys coming up from the minors and playing with poise, playing with composure, not turning the puck over. I remember coming up some games and it was a hot potato and I'm like, oh man, I'm going down to the minors. It's just the pressure. They're playing like there's no pressure or no fear. They're not playing fearful. And I think that's just, you got to give the accolades to Craig Brewer saying, hey guys, you're here. Make the most of your opportunities, play within the system. Yes, you're going to make your mistakes, but make sure you just stick to the system, and you're going to have success playing the way that we need you to play.
Well, and Fraser Minton did get an assist tonight, and looks good out there, along with everybody else. And we talked about this before, the core players upping their game, and everybody else fitting in nicely. And it's a nice situation. Don't know exactly how long these guys stay or when the other guys come back, but it seems imminent that Matthews and Nyes will be back.
Yes, it's sooner than later, I think, for Nyes, and that's not breaking news or anything like that. I may or may not know, but. When you have these guys that come in and perform every single night, it obviously creates that competition. But, from the management standpoint, it's like, whoa, we're paying this guy $2.5 million or $3.5 million. Well, we have a guy making $775 in the minors that can do the same or more. So, yes, you're going to punt some of those decisions down the line because, again, there's, you can't just necessarily make hockey deals every single time, and you can't just trade a guy to relieve some salary cap. But it makes building your roster a lot easier. And you're looking at the teams like the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets and some of these other teams that are having success. You look at the roster, and there's 1, 2, 3 guys or maybe a young goaltender that's coming in contributing on a nightly basis. And the fact that the Leafs have 2, 3, or 4 of those guys, it makes it a lot easier, especially when you have some injuries.
More postgame now. Mitch Marner on the team's performance tonight.
Yeah, just thought we played a lot better straightforward, north. So as soon as we started doing that, we won a little bit more battles as well and made quick plays off it and got rewarded for it.
How did you see your breakaway goal developing there from John by the puck?
I saw Tanny kind of winning that battle and the puck kind of skirting free. Saw Johnny was able to go get it and kind of turn up ice with his head up and some free space in front of him and just tried to read what I had in front of me, and there was a big gap there, so just tried to find it, and Johnny made a great pass.
Was something said after the first period, or just collective awareness that you guys had to pick it up?
A little bit of both. I mean, obviously, we knew it wasn't our best. Not much going in the offensive zone, a lot of defensive play in our zone, so we knew we had to be a lot better.
What's your sense of what this night meant to William and Alex?
Yeah, definitely a lot. I mean, I'm sure for the whole family, it's a special moment. The two of them playing in the NHL together, a couple shifts together as well, so something definitely very cool and something I'm sure they'll remember for a long time.
How do you approach a game when there's so many regular forwards out of the lineup?
Just like the last couple, people need to step up, and I think a lot of guys have done that in this locker room, and we're going to continue to do it.
Surprised at all that this team is 7-1 now without Austin?
We have a lot of great players, regardless if it's on our team or in the Marlies organization. So a lot of guys down there that can definitely be playing a full-time NHL roster. So we got a lot of confidence whoever's in our lineup, and that's how you have to play.
What do you think of Lorenzo's line, the way they started the game, obviously, and some big shifts in the third period too?
Yeah, it was great. They played a great game for us tonight. They were heavy on the puck in the O-zone, making a lot of smart decisions with that puck as well, and hard to play against. So something you love to see.
How similar are the Nylander brothers from your perspective?
I think you see it from how they dress to on the ice and stuff. You kind of get lost sometimes thinking who's who. So both got a lot of swagger and a lot of confidence. That's what you love to see out of those two, and they play with it as well.
Mitch Marner postgame, and another just great performance from Mitch Marner. So there's the guy who's in the final year of a contract, and we don't talk about it because of the way he's playing.
What contract? What? And the one thing is, just a little bit of the insight on maybe the situation and sort of what management's thinking, and even probably the player is, the number's going to be the number, and I think that probably was going to be the case before the season even started. His body of work and what he's been doing for the last 6, 7, 8 years, he's going to be getting a big contract. But I think what the weight is it going to be with Toronto or is it going to be somewhere else? But the fact that he's not letting that distract him at all, and he's actually elevating his game through the noise, and they're quieting it, that's making the number go up. But what he's showing right now is that he is not driven by somebody else. He can drive a line, he can drive a team, and he could be an A1 player. So whether that's with Toronto or on the open market, that is top dollar. And he's elevated himself to probably the conversation of one of the top players in the National Hockey League right now.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. Stu, take the rest of the night off.
All right, thanks. I'll load the chopper up, and we'll be waiting for the next 20 minutes for you there, Tony.
The S-Guy chopper with new upholstery. There we go. All right. 3-2, the Leafs win over Utah. This is Leafs Game Night, live from Scotiabank Arena on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
iPhone where you could rate a kid's looks if you're a high school student. And so judging other people on a social media app on the iPhone was about 2013. And so now you think about all these kids going to high school, and we never had this. They could be made fun of on social media. They don't even know it, and they're walking out of a classroom and people are laughing. Yeah. So it's a different world we all live in because we're all criticized and compared to more and faster. And with that, you need to balance that with support. And I think, lots of coaches that have gone that I watch around the league in the NHL, there's a lot of great coaches and a lot of good young coaches that are really good at that. The X's and O's, I say to people, are easy now. When the X's and O's are a very simple part of hockey. It's connecting with people and getting people motivated and excited. And that's changed dramatically. X's and O's became big when video hit the computer. You could watch 100 or 1,000 forechecks over and over and over and say, okay, these are the key components on a forecheck. And so, you didn't have to be in the NHL to become better at that. So that's the easy part. I just can't imagine doing this or that I did it. I called Brian Matthews one time in Austin's U17 year. And I said, Brian, do you have any idea how good your son is? And his reply was no. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you, what is this conversation? And I had to explain to him, and I said, I think this is what's going to happen in Austin. I said, you honestly have to prepare for your life to become very chaotic and crazy. And lo and behold, he gets drafted in Toronto instead of some different market. And we know how crazy it can be here.
Oh yeah.
But and then the last thing I'll say on it is I remember leading up to the draft, lots of people said, can he handle Toronto? And I thought, absolutely, no problem. And the biggest thing for me is when a young player comes in the league, and we talked about earlier, if they're a -2 or -3 and they have a really tough night, you get to know how they're going to respond. And some that breaks their confidence, and maybe they need a stint in the AHL. You got to get them out of the pressure. But Austin was so good that if that happened, and when it's happened in his career, it doesn't hurt his confidence. He knows that he's in that category of player that I know I can redeem myself just get me to the next game now. And they can do, the best players can do that. And that's a different echelon of player at the NHL level that can do that. So if you look at the top players in the NHL, their confidence is not going to break. The guys right under that, they have a bad night. They may not want that next game.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
New York Rangers legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to share what it was like to play in the 1994 finals with the New York Rangers, as well as ending the 54-year drought for the franchise and how that team represented what a hockey team is all about.
Well, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about 1994 as well. You mentioned Mike Keenan. We spoke with him in studio a couple of weeks ago. He still speaks so highly of you and of that run. So take us back to ending the 54-year drought. In Game 7, you get a power play goal. You shovel a puck underneath of Kirk McLean. Stands up as the game winner, as it turns out. So take us back to that hot, steamy night. What was it, June 14th of 1994 at the Garden in New York?
Just, I guess just starting, going to the rink, trying to keep your same routine. Brian Leach and I would always drive together down through Times Square, down Broadway 7th Avenue to take a right-hand turn on 33rd Street. And you could feel things were different, even from the Upper West Side. Just the vibe and the energy of the whole city was just electrified. Getting down towards Madison Square Garden, seeing the crowd already starting to build, the police officers surrounding the Garden. It was a carnival-like atmosphere. Obviously, we knew we were something on the cusp of doing something that hadn't been done in 54 years. The magnitude of it was palpable. I mean, the energy, just everything just seemed to be so electrified. You try to keep yourself in the moment. You try to stay with your routine. Obviously, there's much more at stake. And then, we found ourselves, much like we did in 87, up 3-1 in the series, losing to the 5th game, where it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that New York Rangers were finally going to win a Stanley Cup after 54 years. Only to find ourselves, the party atmosphere got a little bit delayed. and then had to go back to Vancouver, which again, we got trounced in Vancouver, just like we did in '87, and now we're coming home for Game 7, and the same thing happened. It just, we felt good about our chances. We felt we were a better team than Vancouver. We felt that we should have wrapped up the series earlier against Vancouver, but that's the greatest thing about sports. You can think all you want, but the reality is they got a heartbeat over there too. They got pride over there too. They're there for a reason because they're a great team. And here we are in Game 7 and happen to go out and execute a great game plan to beat a very hungry, very young, very physical, hard team to play against in Vancouver. And luckily for us, we had a lot of experience. We had a dynamic, incredible amount of talent with Brian Leach and Sergei Zubov, Alex Kovalev, Adam Graves, and Mike Richter in net, and then sprinkled in with some veterans, some hardened veterans with McTavish and Tikkanen and Steve Larmer and Noonan and Mateau and Jeff Bukaboom and Jay Wells and all the amazing players that banded together that year to create maybe not the most skilled team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, but if you look up the word team, they could put the 1994 Ranger team right there, and that year, that team epitomizes what a team is all about.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Sunday, November the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Utah Hockey Club. Maple Leafs on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 946, Utah on Internet 947. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
Six-time Stanley Cup champion and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin to discuss what Game 7 means to him and what it's like to also lose a Game 7.
Well, when you think about the two greatest words in sports, you think about Game 7 for many reasons. Obviously, to get to a Game 7, both teams obviously very evenly matched from the literal sense, the Game 7. You don't have to be a sport fan to understand that something's big at stake and that you will go watch it even if you don't know the teams, you don't know the players, you know the backdrop, because it's the greatest form of reality TV in the world, because there is going to be a winner and a loser. A lot at stake, obviously. But for me personally, it's a lifetime journey to acquire the skill set that's required to be able to perform when the stakes are the highest, under the most scrutinized pressure, when you're expected to perform. And you think about a Game 7 moment or Game 7, that's when you have to perform. It's a winner or go home situation. And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally, what prepares you to play in those moments and perform when you're expected to? That, I think, is what really defines a Game 7 moment for the players that have excelled in Game 7 moments. And what are those life lessons that we can teach our young boys and girls and the skill sets required to do that? The breathing, being able to slow your heart down and your blood pressure goes up and your decision-making is rash and concentration varies because of all of it. What allows you to kind of really slow down and use your God-given talent, and then obviously the repetitions through your whole life that you know you can do it. You just got to be able to do it when it matters most. It's like hitting a home run and, like Aaron Boone did, or doing something special at the right moments. And I think the educational part of the docuseries is really fascinating to me there, to help our young boys and girls who will be faced with big decisions in their life. And you don't have to be a sport fan to have a Game 7 moment in life. Everybody's faced with decisions that are going to alter the trajectory of their lives in one way or another there. And we're trying to figure out what those skill sets are.
What does it feel like to lose a Game 7?
Fortunately for me, I never experienced what the Oilers did last year, of going all the way to the end in a championship game and losing in a Game 7. Anytime you get to a Game 7, it's a hard journey to get there. Two teams, evenly matched. It's been a war. It's been a tug of war. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's tired. And then to lose that is devastating. I think about my own experience in Game 7, winning 7 of them. The 2 still hurt to this day. What could I have done different? You always say that you got to lose in order to understand how to win. I do agree with that. I think there are lessons in loss and in failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look